How about it, boys? Give me just a second. Damn, y'all was in here quick. Hell yeah, what's up, BB? Hell yeah, we gonna have a damn party in here now. Y'all, sorry I took so long. I had to make me a little hamburger so I could kind of eat and stream at the same time. And of course, it's 420, so I brought out my Sherlock piece. See, yeah. All right, let's make sure my green screen is set up properly. Okay. I actually was not asleep. Surprising. I was. What's up, Groom? Goom, we waiting for the developer live stream, baby. It's gonna be dropping here any minute. I don't know if y'all saw. It's kind of off topic. If y'all watched the SpaceX launch, they tested a new rocket, which was pretty wild to see that. And then apparently, like, it disassembles itself and it's supposed to turn. And when it turned around, it blew up. It was pretty badass. And everybody, like, you know, the live stream, all the SpaceX people, when it blew up, they were like, yeah, yeah. They were like all excited. I was like, wow, they're excited about it blowing up. Like, all right. All right, so let's pull up. Let's go ahead and get this queued. I'm sure they've already got it counting down. Yep, right here. What's up, Dustin? All right, y'all get you a seat. Stream begins in 19 minutes. Let me fix it so y'all can hear it, because I know you can't hear it right now. Alright, hell yeah. Ooh, is there a Druid trailer? Hold on. I didn't see the Druid trailer. We can watch that real quick. Y'all, hold on. I gotta turn my air conditioner on. Y'all, let me know if y'all hear this air conditioner blowing in the mic. It's almost 90 degrees today. It's hot. I bet y'all can hear that a little bit. Let me put on my, hold on. Wonder if my damn pop filter will help that. Hold on, y'all. Looked like it didn't make a difference, did it? Can y'all hear that air conditioner? Is that bothering anybody? Just let me know. I'll turn it off. Druid trailer. Oh, fuck, 41 minutes ago. All right, let's check this out while we're waiting. Hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah. I keep forgetting about the horses. Oh, shit.
The beast lives within you.
Alright, that's good. I'm glad y'all can't hear it, because literally it's right here and it's blowing cold air on me, so that's good to know. I gotta watch that again. That was amazing. Okay. Oh, God, I can't wait for the mounts, man. Oh. 17 damage, though, right? Look at all that 17 fucking damage. Hell, we can watch all of them. We got some time. Hey, just throwing this out here. Does she not look like the druid? Or her? Which one? I don't know. Goom, its official date is 6/6. The early release, like the guys that pre-ordered, will get it on the 1st. So it's 41 days. Yeah, there he is. What's up, Rinks? How's the land down under, Bubba? Saving the best for last, my ass. Yeah, that's badass, Dion. I like that snake skill.
Your screams will reveal the
Damn, where was she in the beta? I didn't have no cleavage revealing items like that. The one on the right with the mustache. Damn, we got the same party that we was having last night. Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for joining. So we got about 15 minutes. We're just looking at some trailers. Let's see what else. We need to look at Rogue, even though we've seen Rogue a bunch of times already. Now, I'm just gonna tell y'all two things. One, if you don't have a bottle of Chick-fil-A sauce in your refrigerator, I highly recommend getting you some and putting it on your hamburguesa because it's fucking delicious. Two, if you've never tried a pineapple and mayonnaise sandwich, I made a short on it yesterday. I know that sounds absolutely fucking nasty as hell, but it is so damn good. I swear to God, it's delicious. Try that. Three, I may or may not pause this and talk about things that happen. So, if, you know, I'm sorry. I'm just going to apologize in advance. I want us to have a conversation about what we're seeing. And if it's real important, I'll stop and we'll talk about it. But, I don't know if y'all noticed, but, we gained 100 subs overnight. That was fucking mind-blowing. I woke up and had 60 subs, and then right now, as of right now, we're almost at 100 subs just since midnight. So, appreciate everybody, all the new people. Y'all kick ass. Thank y'all. Let's keep the channel growth going. Yeah, so if you gotta kind of like pineapple. So if you hate pineapple and mayonnaise, it's not going to be a good combo. But if you like pineapple and you like mayonnaise, y'all, I know it sounds fucking gross. I just tried it for the first. Apparently, it's. My daddy was like, oh, that's my favorite sandwich. Apparently, it's some damn southern staple that I wasn't aware of. But my old lady, who's like a 5-year-old, when she's how picky when she eats that shit. So. Alright, let's get it back up here so I don't run my mouth and forget about the live stream. There we go. Okay. Hell yeah, boys. Alright, so. Oh, so later on, after I get done with it, I'm not streaming on Twitch right now just because this is a lot easier. I can do what I need to do. Later on this evening, I need a couple of people to go to Twitch and just watch me on Twitch. That's the only thing I'm lacking for an affiliate. I need like 3 average users or viewers or something to get affiliates, so. Just a regular, like, dull pineapple that, like the rings, it's cut in the ring, not like slivers of it. Just one slice of a ring pineapple. I like Hawaiian pizza. It's hit or miss. Depends on who you talk to. Some folks say it doesn't go on there, but really, my experience, people that I talk to that don't like pineapple on their pizza, they're like from, like up north somewhere. They're like where they're real diehard connoisseurs of pizza and like it's got to be a certain way. Now, on the flip side, if someone told me like putting sugar in grits and stuff is a huge no-no, so like I understand where they're coming from. Alright. It is 420. So does everybody have their holiday essentials necessary? Because they're saying this live stream's at least going to be 90 minutes. So go ahead and have everything you need. I broke out my special Sherlock bubbler piece for this. We're going to have a damn good stream. I mean, besides maybe like some Papa John's sauce. All right, we got 10 minutes, gentlemen. Twisted, thank you so much, my brother. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, we know the Necromancer's king. Yeah, Crypto, that's what's up. Where's my pen? Hey, I'm glad you said that. Hold on, I need to get mine. Hold on. So, them Springfield Farms, they got like looks like a damn, a jewel. That's what I've been messing with their live resins. Rinks, yeah, man, send me some of that Vegemite. I've actually seen a bunch of stuff online about it, and I'm curious. I'll do a video on it if you want to send it over here. Whoa, Doom. Yo. Say what? We could have been hanging out months ago. I didn't know that. That's badass. Of course, I still live in a state where they pull you over and smell it in the car. They're like, "Where's the dope at, boy? Step out of the car. You about to take advantage of a bunch of women and go rob some stores. You got dope?" What is this nacho cheese sauce you talking about, Greg? I never had that. Hey, have you ever had, y'all, the secret to Papa John's is well done. So like if you go online order, you can select well done, and they run it like halfway through the oven again, and it's so damn fire. Frederick, what's up, Bubba? Justin, yeah, I always, are you looking for more voice channels, or just tell me specifically what you like, and I'm pretty open about my Discord. If somebody needs something, I usually do it pretty quick, so just let me know what you want to see in there. Shit, Doom, I've been wanting to come to Colorado really bad. But, you know, travel's a little steep for old poor Georgia boy like myself, but. Oh, you gotta ask for it. God, Greg, you giving out the secrets, baby. I like that. I don't know if any of y'all got an air fryer. But we got these Omaha Steaks boxes. We put our hamburgers in the air fryer. That shit is so damn good. Alright. I applaud. Let's all give Frederick a round of applause for. Let's give him a round of applause for actually playing PoE, or PoE and understanding. Yeah, so Justin, let me see. Let me look at my Discord. So right now, we got 3 riff rooms, my living room, which anybody's welcome to join, the dojo, Tristram. So right now we've got 2, 3, 4, 5. So we got 6 channels that people can play in. And then, holy shit, Doug, man, that fucking stash. And so what I did during the beta is I had about 5 extra rooms in this. We have plenty of rooms. I just don't need them right now because no one's playing anything. Second we get the game back up, we'll have plenty of rooms for everybody. Agent, yeah, they just don't have the Bass Fest. See, I live in the bass capital of the world besides California. California is pumping out some amazing largemouth, and Texas. But I live where the world... All right. Hush. Here we go. Here we go. Can y'all hear that?
We're really excited about getting this game into players' hands, letting them experience this massive world.
I can't hear that
The main
shit at all.
cornerstone of D4 is play your way. As a player continues to advance through the story and into the endgame, they'll unlock a ton of brand new activities that provide meaningful progression, no matter their playstyle.
Players to be able to keep progressing in the narrative of the game. Alongside that, the whole team has worked on crafting a variety of different experiences players can pursue.
We're going to have an entire world of Sanctuary for our players to offer. There's going to never be an absence of something to do.
After the player has finished the campaign, there's a lot more game to go and participate in. They gain access to a special, what we call capstone dungeon that they have to complete. Once they're able to finish this capstone dungeon, they're going to gain access to the first world tier.
As you complete the world tier, it will open up the opportunity for you to go into your next world
All right,
tier.
good.
That involves unlocking powerful loot, new items, and more advantages for your player to have a better opportunity at end game.
Whether you're a fan of dungeons, PvP, or just roaming around the world, there's a way to continue your Diablo adventure long after hitting max level. As your character continues to grow in power, you'll start with the skill tree and expand out into the Paragon system.
A lot of the choices the players make are grounded on skills themselves and
Yes.
fantasies associated with those skills. The Paragon board is a place where we're allowed to have a lot more depth, a lot more customization, many more options as you go.
You can rotate the board, so you can choose a different path if you're like, I want to do more strength-based things, or I want these particular boons or glyphs. You can chart your path through it, and they're really a way for you to keep expanding your character and making it uniquely yours.
Similar to the Paragon boards is the Codex of Power. It's an in-game system that holds the aspects related to the character. You are able to complete a dungeon, and they will have a chance
Smash
to
or
pick an
pass?
aspect that you can pick up.
And what this allows players to do is take items they're finding in the world and make them more powerful, turn them into legendary items.
It's really special to discover what kind of playstyle really means the most to you. Every part of Sanctuary is fulfilling and satisfying. Dungeons in particular are
Smash or
really
pass,
close to
y'all.
my
You hadn't
heart.
said.
Nightmare Dungeons are going to give
Thank
the
you,
players the
Mater.
opportunity to experience a dungeon that they might have already experienced in their past playthroughs. They'll enter the dungeon with a found sigil that alters the playstyle and the intensity of the dungeon.
They're more difficult, and they have additional objectives.
Yeah,
And then
smash.
they also have
Smash.
affixes, which add a degree of difficulty
God, I love you
for your
guys.
group to work through.
One of my favorite affixes that you can find in Nightmare Dungeons is actually called Hell
It's
Day.
okay.
Occasionally,
You don't have to have
these
huge
portals will open up
standards.
throughout the area that will just pour out different monsters that aren't native to that region for you to also be dealing with while you're trying to handle everything else inside the dungeon.
Yeah, standards?
There's over
What's that?
120 dungeons to play through and find in Diablo 4, and any one of them can become a nightmare dungeon by finding a nightmare sigil and then using it to activate the nightmare version of that dungeon space.
Everything's a little darker, everything's more difficult. It's going to add a little bit of a twist of
Flick,
flavor.
I like the way you think, Bubba. Even smash the
And some
dude.
targeted activities in Diablo 4 that suit what you're feeling in the mood for.
The Forces of Hell are starting to have more influence in certain parts of Sanctuary and that connected overworld of each place. And as the players are going into Helltide areas, you're going to find even
you
more
are
powerful
awesome.
monsters. And by killing them, they'll be able to gain these special shards they can take to go and use to purchase these big rewards that are available at these caches that are found literally throughout Helltide areas.
The sky darkens.
And what about that?
the
That's a
run
pass for
red,
me on that
beauty
one.
is falls in the sky, and the monsters get harder. We really want to create new experiences for the players. There's one I really like called Whispers of the Dead, which you get from the Tree of Whispers. The Tree of
Damn,
Whispers
Mater, you're
is
gonna take one for
grim
the
and a
team,
little
huh?
Gruesome, but it's also something mystically haunting and kind of.
Ebian,
beautiful.
are you still
The
here?
tree has
Talk to
a
me in
little
the
bit
chat
of
if you're
a
here. I
grudge
just want to make
against our
sure.
players, and it would like for them to go serve its needs. So you're going
Dear
to go
leader
serve
is
these
looking for you,
bounties,
EB.
gather different rewards, different items, and bring them back to the tree in hopes that it can exchange you something really meaningful.
Maybe you're going to go to the Fractured Peaks and take out some werewolves that are rampaging in a town. They're contained activities that you can do alone or in a group. We really wanted to create variety for people to be able to spend time where they wanted to in the world. It's
What's
very
up, French
cool the way
Frog?
it's been put together, and I can't wait for people
No,
to see it,
Diablo
to be
has never
honest.
been delayed, ever. So don't worry about that.
In Diablo 4, we have a focus on the world of Sanctuary. And there are parts of that world that we call the Fields of Hatred, where Lilith's presence in Sanctuary has begun to seep through and manifest.
There's
in
EB.
poisonous
Okay,
areas
there he
throughout the
is.
world. When players
like
go
a
to
good
these regions,
fixer-upper.
They get to engage in player versus player conflict.
These offer
Even though I got a damn
opportunities for the
Ferrari
player to
right
collect
now.
Shards. But there
I
is
don't know
a
why
little bit
she's
of a
with me,
catch.
but
In order to get these shards back to town, you will need to
150
purify
clan
them.
limit.
Other players will
it's
definitely know that you're
150
attempting to purify your
accounts.
shards. So you'd better be prepared to fight if you're going to be playing
150
any
battle
PvP,
tags.
and be prepared that you might lose some stuff in the meantime.
Once they've got the purified shards, they can
Yeah,
take
it won't
these,
be a
go
new
back
class.
to
I
nearby towns,
I
to
highly
sell
doubt
them,
it's a
and
new
then use that
class.
to buy
They're gonna
a
save
bunch
that
of
for
interesting
expansion.
cosmetic items and
They would have
rewards.
wanted us to
It's
test a
place
new
for
class.
people who really love PvP
I don't. I mean, I could be wrong, but I really highly doubt it's a new class. I think it's gonna be we're gonna play the closed game, but we're gonna play the end game. Based on their
Launch
tweet and
is
shit
just the
last
beginning.
night.
One of the things we're really focused on is creating a living, breathing set of updates for players to engage with after the game has gone live.
It's really
God
just a
damn,
good way
Ricks.
to
8 beers
keep
for
coming
that?
back and
For
experiencing
that?
Diablo 4 in fresh ways.
I can't look past the mustache.
All of your experiences and just
Alright, I need to
enjoy the
hush.
entire
Mama told me
story
to be
with you.
nice. If I have something nice to say, don't say it at all.
Hey folks, this is Riker.
Don't be nervous,
and welcome
Riker!
to the next Diablo 4 developer live stream update.
He's nervous. Listen
I'll
to
be your
him.
co-host. I'm a YouTube content creator and professional Diablo fan.
I'd be nervous as
And I
cat
wanna
on the
thank Diablo
tin
team
roof
for
anyway. It's
having me
alright.
here today. We're going to be diving into some juicy topics, and we have with us some folks who will take us through those. We have with us...
Hi, I'm Joe Shelley. I'm the game director for Diablo 4. And for folks watching us here and keeping an eye on chat, please keep an eye on the cameras. If they start spinning end over end, you know we had a bad problem and we're not going to space today.
Fair. Okay, I'm Joseph Pipora. I'm the associate game director
Did y'all
for Diablo
SpaceX
4.
launch today too?
And I'm Adam Fletcher. I'm the Associate Director of Community for the Diablo franchise. So we have a lot to talk about today. We have Riker here. Thank you again, Riker, for joining us to be our host for this actual live stream itself. And we did want to actually do
when they went, he was like,
agenda items
"Hey,
and so forth
I'm Riker."
beforehand. Just a reminder to everyone that Diablo 4 obviously is coming out in June, and you can still pre-order.
Yeah.
We do have deluxe and ultimate versions available for pre-order, or you can pre-order just the base game itself. But the deluxe and ultimate versions actually give you early access. So
let's
there should
not
be a
hate on
QR
Riker
code
too
screen
much.
if
He
you
ain't made
want
no
to
list.
Pre-order for deluxe or ultimate versions of the game. Today, though, we have a ton to talk about. We expect this stream to be about 90 minutes or so.
Hell yeah.
We want to cover a lot of different topics, one being endgame,
Yeah,
the
make
other
sure you
one being some
pre-purchase
class
now.
balance changes in regards to some of the beta feedback that we ended up receiving, as well as the dungeon feedback that we also received during our beta learnings that we actually posted last week. So
Yeah, Crypto. I just watched
without
it.
further
It was
ado,
pretty
I'm going to
badass.
stay quiet.
I love
for
how they
most
all
of the stream.
exploded. When it
You'll
exploded,
see
they were
me
all
more
like,
towards the
"Yeah,
end,
it exploded!
but
Fuck yeah!"
I will pass it off to Riker to kind of start
I'll
us.
be on Twitter the whole time. He's very busy.
Yes, I'm looking at chat.
Yeah.
Yes, I'll be looking at chat because we will be doing Q&A
Anybody notice
afterwards.
their audio's
But
in mono?
I will pass it off to Riker because obviously, Riker, you've had
very odd. Something's wrong.
quite a journey in getting down here, and of course, over the past week, you've been able to play.
Yeah, I like
the
Riker's
latest
content.
builds Of,
I know
Diablo
for some
4,
folks
and
don't
would
care
love to get
for
your
it, but-
take and kind of hear like how was it?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. So I've been waiting for Diablo 4 since years before it was ever revealed. I've been waiting so long, I'm literally transforming into Deckard Cain. I mean, look at me. So yeah, when you reached out for the chance to come to the offices, play the latest build, then getting to come here, getting to experience it, getting to talk to some awesome people who gave me awesome insight into the build, into the systems, and get to play with decked out characters, endgame builds, seeing all the synergies coming together with the items, the Paragon boards.
Oh,
and
you
everything.
know he is.
It's really
Sitting
been
there
a
in his
blast.
hoodie.
Awesome. Good to hear. I
He
know
would've walked in
one
with
of
a
the first
scroll
topics that
and
we
been like,
wanted to
"Okay,
jump
I'm gonna take this
into
time to
was,
tell y'all how to fix
I
the
believe
game."
It was like talking a little bit more about the world tiers and the capstone dungeons, I believe.
Yeah, because that's basically the gateway into all the other topics, right? Because we have the world tier system is like the different difficulties, and the capstone dungeons is how you unlock those and then get access to all that end game stuff. So I think we have some footage to show while Joe, you want to talk us?
Yeah, let's talk about this. So yeah, I guess the
Druid!
first thing we want to talk about here is when players are going through the base game experience, they're finishing the campaign, they reach level 50, they get to move into their first world tier content, which is the Nightmare tier. But before they gain access
Doom,
to
that's
that,
what
they
you got
actually
me
are gonna
for
have
if you
to go
need
through what we
entertainment.
call one of our end cap dungeons. These are longer and more challenging dungeon spaces that have big like boss encounters mixed throughout. They kind of serve as like milestones where players are expected to pass in order to gain access to that next world tier. Now, Riker, when
What's
you were
up,
playing, you
Lay?
had a chance to actually check out
Welcome
your
in,
first,
brother.
NCAP dungeon, at least as part of this test. Like, what was your experience playing through this?
Yeah, so the first NCAP dungeon, all right. I was one of those guys who was saying veteran difficulty is too easy.
Oh no,
crank it
man, I
up.
might lose some subs
So,
over that shit.
NCAP dungeon, I think the first one, it's recommended level 50. I was level 45, thought I was a hotshot, went in there. It was a humbling experience. That's how I discovered that, yeah, if you die enough times, you got to go back to town to repair your gear. So hardcore players beware. I had to learn like boss mechanics, study, adjust my build, and eventually put my tail between my legs, go power up a bit more before trying it again. But then conquering it felt like a really great achievement, very satisfying.
Yeah, these aren't really spaces we expect players to want to go and like try to farm and try to get a lot of things out of. It's more these are milestones, gates for players to pass or to gain access to that nightmare tier. Once the players actually get into their this next world tier.
Okay, so that capstone dungeon, they don't want you to farm that. They just want you to move on. So okay.
World tier 3.
I just want to make sure I understood that.
New features. We're going to talk about a number of them today. So you'll start to see that areas of the world are going to be affected by the Helltide system. You're getting access to nightmare dungeons.
It's time for a
you're
little
gonna start to see unique
cheesecake.
items begin to drop in different parts of the game. And then you're going to start to see sacred and ancestral items also begin to appear in World Tiers 3, and then particularly in 4. And also, in addition to those things, the world, of course, is becoming more dangerous as the players step into Nightmare and Torment tiers, World Tiers 3 and 4 respectively. Monsters can do more damage. They are going to be more aggressive. There's a number of changes. Joe, do you have any thoughts on like some of the changes that we made to monsters in World Tiers?
Yeah. You know, one of the things I love about the capstone dungeons functioning as unlocks for the world tiers is that you've got this the general gameplay loop of getting more powerful, optimizing your build, getting more gear, and then you have something that you're testing yourself against. And then when you defeat that, you move into this entirely new world tier with all of the additional like systems and mechanics and features that unlock. So you're really moving into a place where new stuff is happening. You're unlocking new cool stuff.
Yeah, enemies are more aggressive, they're more accurate, they're faster, they're moving more quickly. You start to deal with champion creatures, which are just more powerful minions that can show up in your elites and be affected in certain ways.
That's right.
Like,
yeah, the monsters have some cooldowns between their attacks. They have logic for how they do targeting. They have projectiles. Some projectiles have seeking.
Oh,
so they can
fuck,
hone
no.
to some extent.
Seeking projectiles? God damn it, that's the bane of Hog's
existence. Group up and how they decide which people to target. And so a lot of those different parameters we adjust as you go up in world tiers to make the monsters more threatening because, of course, the players are getting more familiar with the game, they're getting more skilled, and they're also getting access to more tools in turn.
All right, so first pause. Sorry, guys. I haven't heard them talk about density. Did I miss that, or have they said anything about the density increases? Because that's something I'm curious about. If we're going to see a Diablo 2 style density, or if we're going to see density scale like linearly. So let me know if you heard them say anything about it.
New abilities through legendary powers or even unique items.
Right? Yeah. One of the things we wanted to make sure we didn't do too much is it's easy for us to imagine that we could just make the game more difficult by increasing the damage the creatures deal or increasing the amount of hit points they have as you're going through these encounters. But we wanted to make sure that the world felt more dangerous as you progress into these higher world tiers, and that requires more work when working with monsters and those various encounters to kind of like create that extra level of challenge. Did you kind of determine and sense anything like kind of going from world tiers like 1 and 2 into like world tiers 3 or 4?
Oh, I definitely felt it. You stated in the difficulty descriptions, I guess I just glossed over it and I just expected more damage, more health. Yeah, I know how difficulty works. But I started to feel, oh, the world just seems more hostile, more aggressive. And that's when I realized, oh, there's a lot more at play in the increased difficulty here than just bigger numbers, which is nice.
There's one more thing I want to talk about with regards to world tiers as well. And I'm very excited about this talk in general. I've been waiting to have a lot of these conversations and with the audience so they can kind of convey some of the more interesting depth and complexities associated with some of the systems. So in world tiers, you gain access to two new sets of itemization tiers. In world tier 3, you gain access to sacred items, maybe who appear for you. And then world tier 4, you gain access to ancestral items
in-game
that drop
beta.
the players as they're going through those spaces. Now, with the players leveling up from 1 to 50, the items that you're getting from monsters that you're killing are going to be the power is going to be based on their strength and level. So if you are, you're playing in the beta and you're killing level, 35 monsters for whatever reason, and you're going to be getting slightly more powerful gear as a result of that because the monsters are more challenging and they're going to be dropping better gear for you. But once you have reached level 50, and that basically that flow means that as you're leveling up and you're fighting more challenging things, you're going to continue to like slowly upgrade all of your gear over time. You'll find a ring here and a helmet there, a pair of gloves. That's great. That's how you want you to kind of like get exposed to itemization systems as you're progressing through initially in the game. But once you get into World Tier 3, things change a little bit. So items that drop you have a chance to be sacred. Not every item in World Tier 3 is sacred by default. The higher the level of the creature that you're fighting, the more likely the chances that items that drop from that creature will be sacred in nature, or also based on the...
What the fuck is sacred? I thought they did away with sacred and angelic and all that shit. Sacred? What is sacred? We didn't see sacred in the beta. Oh, a lot of damn creators are fixing to have egg on their fucking face. I'm gonna tell you right now.
Kind of content you're completing. But sacred items, when they drop, they drop at a very large range in terms of the power that they can have. So you could get into World Tier 3, you could kill a pack of elites in your first dungeon in World Tier 3 at level 50. And you can get an item out of that group. Maybe it's a rare item that drops out from that group that is powerful enough that could serve a level 70 character. The sacred item tier basically is going to have gear in it that goes from level 50 all the way up to level 70 in terms of like the power swing there. Once you get a little bit higher, it's a little more likely to get slightly higher in the range, but it's very likely you can get those really, really great drops really early, which we think is super exciting because we want you to be trying to like always be looking for like just the right ring, and it could show up like your best in slot ring for that for a sacred tier might show up at level 51, and that might be the one that you want to hold on to for the entirety of that tier.
And you're talking about when you're talking about these sacred items, the level requirement for this ring, for example, is not 70, right?
No. So the level, that's a great point, Joe. So the level requirement for this is actually to be set at the level at which you actually loot the item. So once again, we have trading in the game. If you are level 50 and you get a really, really great ring drop, that's going to be good for not quite your build, but like maybe you're playing a bleed barbarian, and this is really, really good for like a berserk build or like a big fury build. And you say, okay, I want to give this to you can hold on to it. That could be a really valuable item to trade because it could be that its eye power is such that it's like really good for a level 70 character, but the required level for the ring itself is level 50 because you got it at level 50. And that's going to raise with the course of time. We think that's going to be super fun for players to chase. And there's more of that as you get into the ancestral tier, but that's not all. I think the next thing to talk about is actually legendary.
Ancestral?
So, all right. We've talked a little bit
I
about
thought this
legendary
shit
items in the
wasn't in
past.
depth.
I really want to focus on things that we haven't spent a ton of time discussing, but to give a general overview, legendary items in general are attached to like legendary powers. And these legendary powers, or reverse, legendary powers attached to legendary items. Legendary powers basically are designed to appear on multiple different slots. So, an aspect might appear on an amulet, but it might also appear on gloves, or it might appear on ring, or it might also appear on weapons. These things have a tendency to be in a lot of different places based on the power itself.
Yeah, I gotta take notes.
And we like this because it let players like extract aspects and powers from items and put them into other items that meet certain criteria. It's fun because we want players to go and be chasing certain fantasies. It helps them kind of like hone in on certain kinds of builds and gets them excited about the potential of like kind of taking all these different Legos and kind of putting them together. Can I say Legos on stream?
Yeah, legendaries.
Yeah, you can say Legos on
legendaries is what
stream.
I'm
It's
talking
fine.
about. So once you get all of these legendaries together and you put them together, that's gonna be really, really fun. So that's part of the fantasy we think of legendary items. Did you actually get a chance when you're going through 1 to 50? There's only a certain number of these that are actually available. But when you get into World Tiers 3 and 4, more legendary powers are available. Did you get a chance to see any like new legendary powers as you were playing?
Oh yeah, I mean I definitely got to see a variety of legendary powers. I got a certain number of drops. Drop rates didn't feel out of control.
Yeah, that's this one on the right.
You guys gave me some pre-made
I've been
characters
messing
as well
with it
that
on
were decked out with builds, and I saw lots
map
of cool
planner. It is
synergistic
nasty.
powers that came together to really make a
Trample's
build
now
flow well.
a nature magic.
And I think
when you
my
make
favorite
that a
power
nature
was probably
magic
on
skill,
actually a
it can
unique
proc a
item.
lot of things. It's pretty
and it was for the druid that made your werewolf form your true form.
Mm-hmm.
So I know a lot of people have been saying, "Hey, can I just be a werewolf all the time?"
Yeah, you can.
Yes. Yes, you can.
Yeah, that's the next step, right? So unique items. So unique items only begin to appear when players enter the Nightmare tier. So once you're in World Tier 3, there's a low chance that some of the game's unique items will begin to appear for players as they're progressing through this experience. And they're very, very rare. These are huge chase items and opportunities here. Some of them are really important for build making.
Hey, look,
Some
it's
open up
Shaco.
a whole different build paths and opportunities for players to go and pursue. These are things that are designed to be really exciting, like what you suggest there when you had that experience trying to gather the werewolf, the ability to stay in werewolf form effectively forever with that druid unique. Really, really cool stuff.
Waxing
and there's
gibbous,
more
that's
of
a
these
moon
unlocked over
phase.
the course of your level progression as well.
I think I saw Shaco earlier there.
Yeah,
in all the
Shaco.
unique items.
That's correct. Shaco does make a return, and there's lots of opportunities for us to
Hell
basically
yeah.
kind of pay
Fuck
homage to items that came in previous versions of Diablo, previous entries in the series. You'll see a number of different items make returns. Items like Grandfather, Shaco, obviously. You'll see
There's
a few
Harlequin Quest,
familiar,
Shaco.
and then a few familiar favorites, and then more over the course of the game's live development.
Also, this is
See,
a good.
Y'all, this is what I got a damn question about is what +4 to all skills. Yeah, you get +4 to all skills with that. That's a real thing. That's what I was trying to tell everybody during the beta. Like, nobody talked about +4 to all skills or +2 to all skills. So we've got a sacred and ancestral. I have not heard maybe one streamer yesterday, and I have to go apologize because I said that those weren't things. They're back in the game. So you can have a sacred unique. We're gonna have to look into that and see what that is.
To kind of see the new,
Even as a
font
sacred,
changes
is that
and so
like?
forth that,
I wonder if sacred or ancestral is how that item rolls. EB, what are you thinking about that? I know you've got an input on that. What is it?
Based off the beta learnings that we actually ended up posting last week.
Yeah, we'll get more into the beta learnings later in the live stream. We'll go over them in a lot more depth. But yeah, absolutely, the font was a great example. I mean, I think we added at least 20% more serifs to the.
More serifs.
Significantly more serif, yeah.
But no, seriously, people pointed out that the font, while highly readable, and we spent a lot of time thinking about how the game is going to display on all kinds of different screens, different aspect ratios. TVs, right? And so we want the font to be highly readable in all of those situations. But it didn't feel as much like Diablo as it could have, and so we went back. And
Dyer, appreciate you, bub.
Was still highly readable, but had more of a Diablo.
Imagine that. So they had all these motherfuckers that cried about the goddamn font. They had a reason for that. Imagine that the developer has a fucking reason, like they wanted everybody that played, regardless if it was on a fucking 1972 cathode ray tube TV, all the way to a brand new 35-inch ultra wide. They wanted everybody to be able to see the fucking font. Oh God, what assholes!
Players pointing
Golly,
and us being able to react to it.
What's the next thing we want to talk about, Riker? What do you think?
Well, so we have all these legendary items. One semi-deterministic way to farm for them, Helltide. It's an activity where...
Yeah, I want that...
well, I guess you can dive into how exactly you can target farm specific item slots
right here
to hunt for specific unique items.
That's the one I like.
And it's going to be one of the main endgame activities that we'll be partaking in, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So as I mentioned before, once the player gains access to Nightmare Torment here, they are going to Nightmare tier. They're going to start gaining. They're going to start seeing some of these new activities. One of them, which is Helltide. Helltide is basically going to be the situation where you're running in through the world of Sanctuary. The sky turns red, blood begins to fall from the sky, new monsters begin to appear. Everything is more challenging. New events are going to start showing up, and importantly, as you're killing creatures when you're within one of these Helltide areas, you're going to be getting what we call cinders. It's this new currency players are able to collect while they're specifically within these spaces. And this is great because you get to take these cinders, and as you're wandering through the overworld, you might be running near other players. You might be helping them do events together. Everyone's getting their own cinders as they go. You'll be looking for these Helltide caches you can see here.
Tight.
And these are great. To your point about being able to target farm for certain kinds of items. So every one of the caches in the Helltide zone is actually tied to an item slot. And they all have different costs. So you're you'll be gathering cinders by playing within this space, trying to locate one of the caches that have the item type that you're looking for. Whether maybe you're looking for an amulet or looking for a ring. Maybe you're looking for a Shaco. So you're looking actually to go find a helmet cache and you want to keep trying to go after the helmet cache and the rare, desperate hope you're going to get exactly the unique item that you're looking for, right? That's cool. We want to give you some of that opportunity, to give you that opportunity to target farm a little bit. But there's actually a little bit of fun there too. So one of the things that's one of my personal favorite parts of the Helltide there's the idea that the players there's an extra set of stakes, right? When the player's running around these cinders, they have the chance if they die, they're going to lose about half of their cinders every time they fall. And they don't drop on the ground; they're gone. So you have to be very careful about when you're looking to overextend as part of the combat experience in order to farm more cinders, get to the cache that you're looking for. Whatever that is, you are putting yourself at more risk the more you try to like gather, and the greedier you get, the more likely it is that you're going to lose things.
I hate to pause it again. I'm sorry. This is the reason why the reset dungeon button doesn't matter, because it's not like Diablo 3 or Diablo 2 where it could just drop random, like they said, and it goes for other bosses too. Like if you remember the what was it, the level 35 world boss that we all farmed? He kept dropping that one mace. He dropped a lot of maces. A lot of those bosses will drop, and these caches will drop amulets or gloves or whatever. So it doesn't make sense to farm one dungeon and reset it over and over, because you're probably not going to get that item that you need.
That's right, and there's a time limit on Helltide too, right?
That's right. Helltide is only active like the
Hey, Kay's back. Hey, Kay, would you slip in here and say hello?
When they are actually active. And different areas of Sanctuary are picked for Helltide Zone each time it rotates and moves around. So you need to make good use of your power. And if you leave a Helltide Zone, those cinders are gone. You have to spend them. So if you see that the clock is ticking down, you're getting 5 or 4 or 3 minutes away from the end of the Helltide, you got to find yourself a cache to kind of deposit those things.
Yeah, absolutely. My experience, I first jumped into a Helltide event with, I think, 23 minutes left on the clock. So I start by, okay, I'm scouting out the different chests or caches to see, okay, which is the one that
Play,
has
you
the,
better be
the
printing,
slot that I'm
3D
looking
printing
for,
me
what
a
are the
fucking
different
hog
costs,
figure.
And then I'm doing some quick math. Okay, I'm gathering
While y'all
cinders
are
at about this
bullshitting.
rate per minute. I have this many minutes left. Okay, I think I could afford the most expensive, the weapon slot, and I got to backtrack to that place in order to get there. And then
oh no, he said the B word.
Recalculating.
Bro.
Okay, how much time do I have now?
Can't say the B word.
So quickly. Yeah. And then I died again. And like, better luck next time. Another hour before the next one comes around. I'll have a better plan this time.
Now, granted, you can still get legendary items to drop for you. You can still get really good drops inside Helltide experiences while you're killing monsters. So it's not like if you lose those cinders, you've lost all opportunities for rewards.
Yeah.
But obviously, it does take a little wind out of your sails if you just happen to get jumped at the wrong time. Again, another great opportunity for there to be players nearby when they're trying to help out in those situations.
Yeah, one of the things I think is really cool about this is that they said
there's a timer for the Helltide cache. Yeah, it's going to be challenging. That's part of the end game.
Each time a Helltide appears, they're
I see that, Kate.
Right? Right. So you have to go and find them, as Riker was saying. But for the duration of that Helltide, they're in fixed places.
Play, get with me on Discord. I'll send you the PNG of that.
Area,
my
it's
logo
useful
if you want to do that.
scout out and see where the caches are for the item slots that you're interested in. And then you can, mentally remember, okay, here I want to farm around here.
Dude, he's super nervous. I don't understand.
Or whatever. And one thing I'm
not judging him because I'm sure it's nerve-wracking as fuck.
On the screen earlier, in some of our video that we captured for it.
I'll take that back, just so I don't have to talk over it. I was on Mike Iaconelli's podcast. It's called At the Bassmaster Classic. It was like 2019, and I was nervous for a second, but then I just turned into myself, and that shit's on YouTube. It's on my Mr. Bass Outdoors channel. But I understand it's nerve-wracking. This is a big deal for him and his career.
And we did capture that with the UI off, so you can't see the icon above it, but there is an icon that says, "In here there are boots."
That's correct.
So you will know before you open that cache what's in it.
And I mean, that's not all. I mean, there's other risks.
They're going to tell us. I'm sure that's next.
This is an opportunity for you to fight some different bosses. Again, like I mentioned before, there are different events and things that actually are going to be showing up. And of course, we can't really have such a wonderful experience as Helltide without our baby boy, the Butcher, showing up occasionally and causing serious mayhem and mischief in the overworld of Sanctuary. So lots of really
I've been
fun
playing
things
D1 a lot, and we've been waxing his ass.
And it's also an opportunity to farm a special crafting material, right?
That's correct. There are craft materials like Fiend Rose and things that really are coming directly from Helltide encounters and those experiences.
Look, watch everybody's head. It's all like they're all in sync when they nod.
Really high-tier weapon and item upgrades from going through these places.
So Helltide is what we're doing to farm crafting materials in order to target farm-specific drops. Another big activity that we're going to be doing, Nightmare Dungeons. You want to talk a bit about that?
Yeah.
Hey,
so, Joe, do you have anything
they'd never asked me to go there because I'd need a fucking dip cup. Like it'd be sitting there between my legs, or solo cup with paper towel hanging over the side of it. And everyone would be like, God damn it, who's this redneck they invited on the stream? All these guys are out in fucking California.
Yeah, so, Nightmare Dungeons are, we're going to talk, again, we're going to talk about beta feedback at the end of the show here. or near the end of the show. But Nightmare Dungeons are our key dungeon replayability system for the later part of the game, right? And you're going to get sigils, and Joe's going to talk a little bit about the sigils, but we're really excited for players to get to check out all of the cool ways that the dungeons can really be transformed by the Nightmare Dungeon system.
Yeah, so first up, Nightmare Dungeons, very, very exciting system. Players haven't had a chance to play these in our betas yet, but as they get into the end game content, start going through World Tiers 3 and 4, you'll begin to see, you'll gain access to some of your first sigils, which are primarily initially earned by completing Whispers of the Dead.
What's up, Rammer? Welcome in,
world content features that players will be able to engage with. Now, sigils are really interesting in that they are tied to a level when you find them, which is going to affect the level of the monsters inside that space. They have various afflictions, which we've talked a little bit about in streams in the past. These are going to modify the way that level rolls out. But Nightmare Sigils, when they are activated, after you collect one, is going to basically open up a portal near an existing side dungeon. And in the pre-release version of Diablo 4 and additional seasons, we basically select a subset of all of the side dungeons of the game that can become Nightmare Dungeons for that period. So players become more familiar with a set number of these because they know that they can be populated with these Nightmare Dungeon experiences. So you might already know, whether it's Annex Acclaim or whatever it is, what the layout of a given dungeon might look like normally. But Nightmare Sigil is going to change that by introducing these new afflictions and then also these greater afflictions. We showed earlier in the video like this. Right now, actually, we're looking at this hell portal, nightmare portal that can open up and basically spawn in all these monsters from other monster families. It might not be native to that dungeon, which is pretty cool. In that we like the idea that players are going to have to kind of deal with these new, different threats than what they're typically used to as part of that encounter. And there's a number of these other greater afflictions, like we showed the Stormbane's Wrath, that disc thing that was floating around around you, and occasionally it just pulses out this really big, stunning, damaging effect. So you have to be mindful of where it is. You should make sure you avoid it as part of the combat experience.
Oh, that's what we were wondering, what that damn disc was that's following you around.
And we add more of these afflictions as the player continues to level up, and they get to go deeper and deeper into the Nightmare Sigil system, unlocking higher level sigils and dealing with more and more dangerous threats over the course of time. And this is a really great place, not only just to earn experience and really push your build and make sure that you're strong enough to tackle these sorts of challenges, but you'll also be able to. These are really great places to farm for sacred and ancestral items in particular, and these are the places that you're going to be upgrading your Paragon glyphs. We'll be talking more about the Paragon system right now. So
here we go, boys. Paragon.
This is an opportunity to show the actual upgrade screen. I just noticed, hey, look, it's actually up right now. What timing? So yeah, when the player reaches the end of a Nightmare Dungeon, they get to basically go ahead and take one of the glyphs they've been collecting over the course of their 50+ experience, and basically slot it into here and choose to upgrade it and make that glyph even more powerful. These socketables will go into your Paragon board and end up being some of the single most powerful modifiers you can apply to your character, above legendary powers, and even in some cases, even above some unique powers. So it's really in your benefit, based on your build, to be choosing, looking for a set number of these and upgrade them to exactly what you need them to do.
Hell yeah. Look at the lack of the depth. So God damn, there's no depth at all. None.
What I noticed is that
Zero
if
depth.
you get some afflictions that you don't particularly care about, we have the ability to salvage some in order to craft sigils of our own, right? I think it's a 4-to-1 ratio. Is that right?
Yeah, just about. So you'll be able to get a lot of these different sigils by going through Nightmare Dungeons, completing Whispers, and through other content.
All right, let me pause this so I can look at it. So you've got an affix on each one of these sigils. Monster shadow damage. All right, so cool. So that's what Riker was asking. You can, if you got one of these, and let's say you've got no shadow resistance and the monster does shadow damage, you can just salvage this sumbitch right here and use that materials that you get from that again. Reduce cooldowns on kill, lightning damage, control impaired explosions. Oh, fuck. Y'all. Control impaired explosions. So that means if I take my druid in there and I hit everybody with the fucking immobilize from Divine Creeper, they all explode. Yeah. D3 reskin, baby. This is bad the fuck ass. This is why we don't need the reset button, because you got the goddamn sigils. You can do as many sigils as you want to. Just just make it rain sigils. Oh, this fucking game. I'm not going to have my damn life.
You don't really want to run, because maybe we're going to have enemies inside are going to do additional lightning damage, but you don't have a lot of lightning.
Oh, wait, whoa. Revives allowed. Y'all see this? Hold on. Whoa. Look at this, revives allowed. That's got to be a hard-ass dungeon right there. We hadn't known about that, so that's a tier 29. What happens when they're tier 50? Can you not die at all? That's something they hadn't said either. Oh god, no depth at all.
Resist on your build.
Trash
Maybe you want to
game,
go ahead and
no
like, salvage
depth.
that back at the occultist. Take that down to its sigil dust and use that to basically make
Frederick,
new
we're being
random sigils for you to
sarcastic,
go ahead
man.
and run with. This is ways for players to kind of like, you know, push themselves a little further. They'll unlock
Yo, we're just being sarcastic.
Craft through this
Y'all
system
don't
over
watch
the
my
course of
stream
time.
enough to understand.
It's another way to kind of like reutilize some of those sigils.
All right, hold on, community. We got a rift. Hold on. We love this fucking game. I'm anti the negativity, so we're just being sarcastic, talking shit about the other guys. That's all that is. So there's nobody that doesn't like the game here.
You might not be as interested in running from time to time.
You know, one thing I liked about the afflictions was it was making me make choices during the gameplay.
Oh yeah, Frederick, that is a
I can speak
positive.
to,
Yeah, it's in green, so that's the good
nightmare
one.
gates that we were just showcasing. Let's say I'm in the middle of fighting an elite and I'm almost taking him down. I see that nightmare
for the
portal
group.
opening. I'm
Absolutely.
like, okay,
Yeah, play.
should I take care of that before it starts spawning more monsters? Or do
Yo!
I finish this fight first? I'm forced to make a decision, and I got to live with the consequences. If I think, you know, maybe I should take him down, and then no, the fight becomes more challenging, and nope, I should have taken care of that gate first. Another one is, I forget the name, but it's some kind of blood cyst that starts to grow, and then if you just don't touch it, it eventually
blood
explodes
bowl,
in a
yeah.
huge area.
Yeah.
And it's either, okay, destroy it before it does that, or get the heck away as fast as possible. Again, making choices, and it's like, okay, I think I thought I had time to get away. Then I got crowd controlled, and then boom, one shot. So I like how it changes the dungeon experience depending on which of these afflictions that you get.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ice cream!
There's
What's
death
up,
count
baby?
for some of
There
these
you
as well.
are.
As time goes on, you get into the deeper ones. Where you gotta be careful. You can't choose to just throw
Yeah,
yourself at these things.
fucking-
If you're making
what was
mistakes,
that?
you have to
What-
really
Hawaiian?
evaluate carefully how you're progressing.
It wasn't Hawaiian salt. Greg, what was that salt? Himalayan, that's what it was. I'm pissed.
So yeah, you got a chance to play through some of those.
Oh.
So yeah, Nightmare Dungeon is very exciting, and they'll go up beyond level 100 as well.
Low sodium
Actually,
production.
so this is the content type that you can actually fight up to creatures up to level 150.
Hey, I might
actually,
have
as
to
part of
use
the experience,
that.
based on how far you're able to push yourself as time goes on. So really excited about how far players can go with that.
All right, now you're talking about glyphs and
Oh
the
my god,
Paragon
you guys are
system, so
fucking genius.
let's talk more about those Paragon boards.
Oh, let's do it. Okay. Paragon boards.
All right, time to get
So
serial.
we've talked a bit about
Paragon.
Paragon in the past. You know, we've shown pictures of the board just like this, and we've shown you things like, hey, look, like here's normal node. This is a way that you're going to earn like 5 willpower. You know, but that's not all this board is about. You know, there's a lot of other complexity and things to deal with in here. So there are basically 4 types of nodes to kind of like quickly reprise some of this information. The first, of course, is normal nodes. Then we have what you show here is magic nodes. These are different affixes that you can collect over the course of time. Usually they're like a little bit more difficult to find a direct like version of on items. So like something like this, for example, crackling
Ruckus,
energy,
we're at in
damage.
North Florida. I'm
So there's
like
a-
40
that's
miles
a-
north
that's
of
a
Tallahassee
sorceress,
over
so like
Georgia
a
line.
lightning
So I'm
spec
pretty
sorceress
close.
ability, or passive effectively, where she'll occasionally be crackling out damage to nearby targets. You can now boost that by finding this particular magic node, which kind of might eventually unlock other builds for you to kind of go and chase after. But then there are rare nodes, which is on the next slide. And here, okay, so there's some information here. Rare nodes have a pretty powerful effect right off the bat, you know. But then on top of that, there's this bonus effect down below that you can sort of see, where on this one it is another 60% damage to elites if you reach a certain amount of dexterity for your character. So the point here is that, like, rare nodes on their own,
Oh,
there's about 10
shit.
or more per board. Rare nodes are already pretty powerful generically. But then on top of that, if you were able to hit these thresholds for the stat requirements for these rare nodes, that is going to make them very, very potent for you indeed.
fuck,
And when you're looking
y'all.
at the
We
board,
didn't know about
these are
that.
some of the most critical things you should be thinking about when you're plotting your path through each board. Which of course, there are a number
No
of boards
shit, I got
available to
one
launch.
of the clan,
And
another
when you're able
clan
to
members
rotate
from
them, you have to
Jacksonville.
choose how you want to progress through rare nodes, whether you want to engage with the legendary nodes or not. This is a really important thing.
That
one
bonus
other
is
bit about this, just
badass.
it's easy for me to forget about, is that when you're going from Paragon board to Paragon board, like in the first board, this might be the cost. But then when you're looking at the second board,
Are you talking
that
about
you're
Lower
progressing
Alabama?
through, those requirements are actually going to go up. So it's not in your interest to go like run from board to board, just unlock as many of these as you can directly through that way. You need to spend a little bit of time.
All right, I got to catch up with what y'all are saying, and this is overloading me a little bit. Y'all, so hold on. Y'all don't leave. Let me show you something. I don't even know if this is on the planner. Holy shit, is this not on the planner? Okay, yeah, but it doesn't make sense. So now it makes sense. That is going to be so damn huge. Oh my
times the board and
god,
pick the ones that you really want, because the next board that you unlock to get more rare nodes of different types, those will be a little more expensive to unlock those bonus effects.
The thing I think is really interesting about these is when the way that I look at the board, right? When I open a Paragon board, the first thing I do is go and look at the nearest rare nodes to me, to my where I'm starting, right? And then I look at the requirements for those bonuses, and then I start looking at the normal nodes on the way. I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'm pretty close to the dexterity required here through my gear. Are there some dexterity nodes that I could hit on the way here that would take me over it? And how much do I care about that particular bonus? And then I'm comparing it to the other ones, and I'm thinking about that. So the normal nodes actually become sort of a path that you're trying to take to turn on these bonuses.
Absolutely, and that's not all.
Trash,
There's one more
no
node type as
depth,
well, and then we're gonna get
stupid.
back to normal nodes in just a second. So then we have our legendary nodes. So every one of the boards for each of the classes has a legendary node somewhere on it, and these are really, really powerful powers like you'd expect. They are a legendary power, effectively unique to the Paragon board system.
Yeah, the Paragon boards
for
are
that
class
class and
specific.
For
Yes.
that particular board.
The Paragon boards are class specific, and there's like at least 6 boards, and you can rotate them. So, and no, they've already addressed the gold cost. They said there's going to be plenty of gold, so don't worry about the gold. So, I guess if you play, look, this guy right here, he's got 6 million gold. So, I think gold's not an issue. I don't think we have to worry about gold anymore.
We're just trying to convey is its overall build type. So these are really, really powerful things to go and collect, but they're actually not the most powerful thing. This is just an additional, extra powerful affix you can kind of apply to your character, but you kind of do this in concert with other things that you're looking for.
The legendary
like I
nodes
mentioned,
are
the
class
rare nodes.
specific, yes.
And I also talked before about glyphs, and we're going to talk about that next. So when you basically, as you're going through the board, there are going to be these sockets that you can unlock, and the sockets are going to be sitting adjacent to a number of other regular nodes. Now, the way that glyphs work is that you're going to put them into one of these sockets, and they are going to be affecting
God,
nearby
the
nodes,
font.
and
Look at
also
this. They
fueled
said
by
they changed the goddamn font. Look at it. It's still. Look at this circle. There's some graphics that are missing over here. Refund me. God, 6.7 million gold. And they want some gold to refund. Sorry, I'm gonna go play. I'm gonna go play Gold Rush Simulator 2022.
other nearby nodes. So if you hit certain thresholds inside some of the glyphs, you're also going to unlock powerful bonuses. They're going to also affect nearby nodes at the same time. And as I mentioned before, glyphs can be leveled up pretty high. They continue to grow the radius of the affected nodes as you level up through certain
Doom,
tiers. So
PvP
they
will
can,
come, I'm sure, after
affect
this.
larger and larger
It's
areas.
part of the end game. I'm sure
And
they're
the
going to talk
boards are
about it.
not symmetrical in nature as you're progressing through. Because the player can rotate their board and choose which gate they actually want to enter from, you have to like kind of choose.
Yeah,
from
good's
board
a
to board
relative opinion,
where
Ruckus,
the
so it
sockets
depends
on
on
this
what
board,
build you're going for.
Are they
but
near
there's
the
some
stats I
really
want for
badass
this
ones,
glyph?
yeah, for
Because
sure.
this glyph is going to be fueled by dexterity nodes within range of the glyph effect, and it's going to do additional critical strike damage, whatever it's going to do for me as a result. That's a really, really important choice to make, and because all of the boards have different configurations, different socket locations, and different things near those sockets, you have a lot of interesting decisions to make about like where you actually want to invest your time. How does it matter? Like, how does it feel to do this relative to the rare nodes you might need on that board from a different board instead? Like, fun decisions for players to make as they're going through.
Yes.
We want ultimately to feel like the Paragon board system allows for like 2, incinerate, focus, burn type sorceresses to feel like they've got very different paths to the Paragon board, different decisions to make, even if all of their skill choices are identical.
Yeah, it's something that we've talked about a lot. With
I want the
Diablo
original
boards, the
Diablo
idea
1
that
font back. God
even if
damn
you
it.
have
Ecoted XC.
let's say Incinerate is a powerful sorcerer build for and you want to play Incinerate, you're not going to necessarily be the same, have exactly the same loadout as another Incinerate sorcerer.
That's right.
One thing I found really cool about the Paragon system that I didn't realize at first is that every Paragon board is almost like a Paragon class, like a specialization class where it's all built around a certain theme, fantasy, play style.
Yes,
and
it
it all
is.
revolves around that central or off-central
Yes.
legendary node. And then the
All right, so just I gotta show y'all what he's talking about. So like in Druid, okay, when you get your gate node, you got Thunderstruck. Now that one's about storm skills. Storm skills deal 30% increased damage. You got one that's for Werebear. Fuck. Well, Earth and Devastation. You got this is for Earth skills, so you get the picture. There's a bunch of damn nodes. You got a bunch of them. Inner Beast is for your Werebear. So, sorry. Just wanted to show you what they're talking about.
The rares kind of support that same theme, and it extends to the blue.
So real quick, okay. I'll have to pull out. I'll talk about that here in a minute. But like, every class uses everything. I found some stuff online about willpower. So willpower for a druid actually increases your skills percentage damage. I'll go over that after the stream if you're interested in that. But I want to. Oh my fucking god.
Continue your
world tier content. Next, sacred items. Maybe up here for you. What's the next thing we want to talk about? You know, maybe you're looking at the synergy.
Guys, I'm so sorry.
Playability system.
And if you're making mistakes, you have to really evaluate carefully.
Nightmare Portal open
for you to go ahead and run with. This is ways for players to kind of like, you know, push themselves amount of dex.
These is when the way that I look at the board, right? When I open a Paragon,
collect, but they're actually you have to like
with Diablo 4 is
okay.
the idea
I'm
that
so sorry, guys.
even if you have, you know, let's say Incinerate is a powerful sorcerer build for, you know, and you want to play Incinerate, you're not going to necessarily be the same, have exactly the same loadout as another Incinerate.
I know, I could fuck up a wet dream,
really
I
cool
swear to
about the
God.
Paragon system that I didn't realize at first is that every Paragon board is almost like
you ain't donate nothing, some bitch.
It's all built around a certain theme, fantasy play style. And it all
Hog
revolves
ruined
around
the game for
that
me, what a
central,
fucker.
Off-central legendary node. And
Rewind gates!
The rares kind of support that same theme. And it
Fuck!
extends to the blues. So like on a Necromancer, like, oh, this board is like the pure summoner fantasy. And
all right,
this
we're
one's
back. We're back to where we're supposed to
Blood
be.
Mage. And looking at it that way really like made it very cool for me to be able to explore, okay, you know, I can merge these two together. I'm going to go like bone and blood and just further, explore and dive into that specialization.
Yeah. You know, there's 220 Paragon points that players will be able to have by the time they finish leveling up their character at level 100. We want those choices to feel like they've got meaning individually. Players can respect them for those choices if they want for gold cost. We want to be able to play with this system and be able to like kind of experiment with different ideas as they go. But importantly, we want them to feel like that the choices they made for the 220 matter a great deal.
Soon, Kay, soon. I'm almost done with my dip of chewing tobacco here.
Yeah, super fun. I think. No, but yeah.
What are we talking about next?
We think so too,
I guess,
brother. It's
at
okay.
this point, we can talk about some of the beta learnings. We had a beta. The community gave a lot of feedback, and you folks took in that feedback, digested it, and transformed it into actionable change in the game. You want to talk about some of the things?
I'm a professional driver. Thank you.
I keep saying we're going to
Class
talk about
A
that. Now is the
CDL
time.
holder.
So let's start out with looking at some of the class changes that we did. So there's a lot of text on this screen. You've had an opportunity, if you've been following along,
God,
to
that's a
check
lot
out,
of text. Holy
a blog
shit.
that documents a lot of the changes that we were able to make as a result of feedback from players in the 2 beta weekends, and also from data that we get. You know, we get a lot of data. You know, how many times someone dies in. You know, are necromancers dying a lot in this dungeon, or is this boss killing barbarians a lot of times? And we can use that alongside player data to identify areas where there might be a class deficiency, or areas where maybe something is exceptionally strong compared to other things that are balanced to be the same power. And so, in general, one of the things that we looked at from those 2 beta weekends is feedback that the Barbarian and the Druid, the melee classes, felt weaker than the
No, your minion
Rogue,
build
and
will still be
Sorcerer.
fine.
And there are a lot of aspects
to
of that. So there's some nuance in here, right? Like for the Barbarian, we felt, we identified that the Barbarian, at low levels in particular, needed more damage reduction sort of built in. And so we added this passive damage reduction. So you're just going to take 10% less damage, just flat, no matter what choices you're making as a Barbarian, and that's to account for some of the ways the Barbarian has to get up close and personal with their sort of weapon-heavy spec. We also identified elements of the Druid that you could really benefit from some buffs. In fact, I think Riker, you got to play the Druid a little bit.
I did, yeah. So honestly, when I first saw the patch notes, I was like, oh, I was hoping the druid would have gotten a bit more love with regards to spirit generation. But then I played an endgame build of, it was a perma werewolf storm druid. So I'm a werewolf who's casting storm skills, and the playstyle was so tight, it flowed so well. It just all gelled together once you got the full kit, the full build together.
Yeah,
and
I mean, he's right.
I went into this week with a certain class favoritism. Where I had rogue, I had necromancer, sorceress, barbarian, and then druid in dead last. I'm completely confused now. I think druid might be my favorite now.
No,
Yeah, it's
no,
we did.
Fuck
take a
no.
look at the classes again.
If you put druid dead last, do not play the fucking druid. God damn it. These fucking druid haters. I don't want to hear that shit.
Another thing
if you hated on my damn class, don't play it.
So we took a look at bosses and monsters, in particular their attacks that deal damage in an area where it feels like there wasn't a way for the melee class to deal damage effectively while also avoiding incoming damage, right? Because a lot of times you'll have the opportunity for a ranged class range class is sometimes choosing between getting a better position and doing more damage, for damage per second, and a melee class is sometimes choosing between taking.
It was 17 damage, Doom. Okay, so I'm gonna say this analogy that I said last night, so that we all on the same page. If your grandma makes the most badass spaghetti in the whole world, whatever the fuck she makes that's badass, and you know that at 100% completion, grandma's spaghetti cannot be fucking trifled with. But if you go in the kitchen and you taste her spaghetti at 25%, it's not going to be good. You're going to say it's bland. There's going to be something lacking because it's not done. That's what we tried was 25% spaghetti, and it was that good.
The projectiles originating in many cases from the monster and then traveling, so you have less time to react in some cases. And so we took a look at boss abilities and bosses that our data showed were much more deadly to melee classes, and we adjusted some of those abilities. Now, this also affects the necromancer class. Because
we're at 18 damage now.
Notice that we had a note here that
just wait till my fucking druid's built. I'm gonna make sure that everybody knows.
We want the corpses to have sort of an
17
economy.
damage.
We want to have the sense
Ask
that
Evie. He ran with my druid. It
useful,
didn't do 17 damage.
More
I mean, it wasn't the most
necromancer,
amazing thing in the game, but it didn't do 17
as a
motherfucking
theme
damage.
Of this sort of bone class, they are a little bit more disposable, right? Like if a skeleton dies, you just pop out another one from a nearby corpse. So we want them to be, dying and getting resummoned. And we want to make sure that there are plenty of corpses, so you're not going into a boss and running out of, like, oh, I don't have any pets and I'm a pet builder. We certainly want to make sure that you have pets available, but we want them to be kind of coming back from time to time. So we increase the damage that they take a bit, but we also, I was talking about areas where bosses are doing too much damage to melee. We also took a look at cases where there were abilities that felt unfair for pets, where there's just.
Well, they're going over this list that we already know about.
Maybe it's no problem for.
I'm going to take this opportunity to let y'all know. I've had some subscribers and people in my community, as well as my brother, donate a lot of it's basically a new PC build, and so when all the parts come in, I think that's Monday or Tuesday, I'll be doing a live stream about me building this shit, and it's been like 10 years. It's actually been since Diablo 3 launched.
Yeah, we do want to make sure.
Since I built a PC, so if y'all want to join me for that, that'll probably be a good time. We can have another party like this, and y'all can talk shit and watch me try to fumble my way through a PC build I hadn't done in a long time. So.
We feel that is definitely part of the fantasy of the necromancer class is needing to resummon, to your point, these kind of disposable soldiers that are supposed to be helping you. So we want to make sure that continues to hold true, but not to a point where like an armored necro can't go fight bosses. That's obviously not what we're trying to build with any of these changes.
Y'all, honestly, I'm probably gonna go poison druid from what I've been looking at with Vine
Creeper. Does get a
Creeper.
chance to engage with those parts of the mechanics.
Now another.
And I did get to play the summoner necro, and I was summoning my minions regularly, so it was something that was a continuous part of the gameplay, but I never found myself in a position where, oh, I'm out of minions, I'm out of corpses, so the corpse generation rate it felt good. I'll admit that passive minions is not my favorite playstyle. I would love the ability to direct them, but for what you intended to accomplish, I felt you did.
Yeah, so one of the other areas of feedback, we have a note here that says, that might be a little bit confusing. It says, we reviewed the class skills to confirm that there were good options to get out of control impairing effects.
Yeah, I got some
in many
upgrades
cases,
for the
what we mean is
Cocaine Bear.
Unstoppable,
It's
which is the
coming.
effect in Diablo 4 that
I'm going to do
clears
the
all,
real Cocaine Bear build
control
as soon as the
impairing
game
effects,
comes
crowd control
out.
effects, and makes you immune to them for the duration of that effect. So the classes are designed so that every class
it's been 10 years for me,
is intended
so
to
I'm
have
excited.
access to a good set of options to clear crowd control, so that there is an interaction here between, monsters are doing crowd control and I have options to remove it, but I need to think about those options.
Really, the OP
and we saw
during
feedback
the beta, the OP pair I
that
saw
early
was
levels, some classes
was
felt
Rogue and
like they
Druid.
didn't have enough options there.
I played with my
Riker,
buddy
in your
Diablo. That
play,
shit was damn
at the
wild.
higher levels, did you feel like that was still an issue?
I don't remember it being an issue at the high levels of play, no. Going back to my favorites, Barbarian now is my second favorite after being my fourth. Again, yeah, the melee playstyle I felt gelled really well with a high level Barbarian. It all came together. I didn't feel I was being punished for being in melee. I didn't feel constantly crowd controlled or
He
an
needs to
inability
shape
to
his beard up.
Gap close. He had his the spears to bring
Would
enemies
look a
to
lot
me,
nicer if it was
the lunging
shaped
attack
a
to
little
close
bit.
the gaps, and a good toolkit to deal with everything.
So the last thing I want to note on classes,
Crack
of course,
bear,
is that there are a few other changes beyond what we're
From
seeing
Cocaine
here.
Bear to Crack
I
Bear.
think, some people called out Hydra changes. We made a lot of small
Call him
changes
Rufus,
to,
like for bum
to
fights.
classes. There are also some cases like legendary powers. We updated legendary power effectiveness, which is sort of vague, but it's really just that there are a bunch of small details, and we're sort of tweaking them. The other thing I want to talk about is dungeons, right?
Yeah.
So we got a lot of feedback from players that
Here comes the reset
there's a lot
button.
of running back in dungeons, and there were really two ways that we wanted to tackle this. First off, of course, if we have a situation where you're running back, we have a system that causes monsters to ambush you to make sure that it's not just running through an empty space. So we added more ambushes. But secondly, and this is really the more
It's thin up here.
effective
You might as
aspect
well
of
just.
it,
If
we
he were
changed
just
the
to
layout
shave
of
that right
dungeons
there,
and
it
where
would
objectives
change his
were
whole game
located
up.
in the dungeons.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Look at this. Graphic design is our passion.
Yeah, absolutely.
I wish that I made.
Like, are y'all fucking serious? That's what they bitched about because you had to go down these alleyways. I didn't. Me and Evie didn't have we didn't bitch about it
I
during
did
the
laugh
game.
really hard when I saw this the first time.
So
I love it so
evocative.
much.
Evie's the best
but
player
I
I
did not
know,
like it.
so
But
if he ain't bitch about it. It
I
shouldn't
think
be
this
a
is
problem.
a great example. So this is one of the dungeons that players called out in beta, Hoarfrost Demise, right, as one that had a lot of run back. And one of the reasons that you can see here.
Oh,
that
shit,
it
there's
has so
Diablo
much
right
run
there,
back is
Phil.
that
Duh.
The objectives are laid out in a way that you have to run down a long, narrow hallway to get to one, and then you have to run back. It's a dead end, and then you have to run back down that narrow hallway. So we changed the layout of Hoarfrost Demise like this.
Right.
So you can see that the objectives.
Oh, you're still
which are
going
those,
back. You're still
diamond,
backtracking.
icons
Look
there
at
on the
this.
screen.
Look at what they did. So you're still basically coming back around, right? So they're still gonna bitch. That's awesome. I love it.
Are along
I
the main
fucking love
path
it.
of the dungeon, and remember,
It's almost
now,
like a little
in this
troll with the
case,
smiley
player
face
has
too. It's like,
explored all of the
haha,
dungeon and you
fuckers.
can see all of the map.
Yeah.
But when you're playing through the dungeon, you don't the map is fogged. You haven't explored it yet. But it's set up in such a way that as you're exploring through the dungeon, you're going to naturally encounter those objectives along your way, and so you're not going down and then having to backtrack.
I got a
Yeah,
fly
in
in
our
my
objective
shit.
view, this is going to lead to smiles.
Ah.
Yeah. This is good. This is good. But no, it's important. Like we want to make sure that as you're progressing the space, you are naturally coming across these objectives in a simpler way, as opposed to you need to like kind of like wander and kind of like backtrack a lot more as part of that.
Yeah, and in fact, we identified a number of dungeons that got this feedback in beta, and we also, we were talking about nightmare dungeons. We also want to make sure that nightmare dungeons have this, we address this for Nightmare Dungeons as well because it's a key replayability system, as we were just talking about earlier. This is another example of Quadragon Barracks. It's another dungeon that we saw a lot of feedback and screenshots from beta, where you can see that the objectives are set up such that clearly you're going to have to run back all the way back through that long hallway. You're going to spiral around. You have to go out.
All they have to do for this one, this is an easy fix, is take this one right here and move it there, and take this one and put it right there.
To explore out from those spirals, and you can end up getting confused and running back. Because the other thing that happens here is that if you've run to an objective,
it literally looks like they just relayed out the backtrack. I love it.
Is back along a path that you
Whoa,
know
Shane,
about
don't be
already.
giving us a damn spoiler in here!
Why wouldn't you just run back along that path that's empty of monsters? It's not fun. It's more fun to kill monsters, but it's more efficient than exploring some unknown that might or might not lead back to it, right? So that's a key part of these layout changes as well. And if you take a look at the next,
if you know, if you have watched ahead and you know something that's going on, please don't ruin it and tell us anything.
Yeah. Now, these aren't the only changes that we made either. You know, there's some other things we did to actually just straight up regular objectives. So there's things like, there are some dungeons where the players are asked to kill all the monsters inside a dungeon space. And in those situations, we've made it so like once the players reach a certain threshold of monsters they've killed, rather than saying like, you know, there are potentially as many as 50 zombies in this cave. You know, after the player has killed, 49 zombies, they might still be normally looking around in the last corner where a zombie is kind of like hiding in a closet someplace, right? In this situation, instead, once you reach a certain threshold of zombies that you've killed, now they actually begin chasing you down. They start looking for you in that situation, such that you don't need to go crawl through the entire space and explore every inch of unexplored area in that dungeon just to find the zombies. Some of them are going to come after you in those situations, which is a great change to make it a little bit easier to engage with those things. And then there's another one, like we have features or dungeon objectives where the player is asked to go and collect like anima, which are just these objects. They're like these
Dark backtracking's always been in a Diablo game. It's just
sometimes you need to go.
It's almost in like every video game. I just thought it was a mute point for people to cry.
Might summon a boss. All kinds of things that you do with this. But in these situations now, when players are collecting this anima when they're running around the dungeon trying to find all these creatures and do these things, you're going to also gain various buffs by picking these up. You're going to gain some resource back for your class. You're going to get some other things. It's actually really great. When you actually deposit these things, you're going to get a health potion. So there's lots of things we're trying to do to make sure that those experiences help speed you up and feel great to engage with, while you're also going through a lot of the layout changes that Joe just talked about.
Yeah, I'm glad you pointed out kill all monsters, because players rightly identified a couple of key problems. Like first off, with kill all monsters,
his audio.
Of course, if you're having to go and hunt down one of those monsters, that's effectively backtracking, right? You're running through an empty space. And the other aspect of it is that the sort of the intensity curve of excitement in the dungeon is going down. Like you're backtracking through a bunch of empty space, and then when you get there, it's not going to be an exciting moment. There's going to be four monsters hiding in the corner, and you're going to kill them, and it's going to feel sort of like, well, I guess that was a requirement that I had to turn
It's one
off.
spider.
Right?
Yeah, it's almost similar to like Den of Evil, Diablo 2 feel and so forth, but now them being able to seek you out means less backtracking, less hunting in corners for that one fallen or wherever.
The other thing I like about it is that it increases the intensity at the end of the dungeon, right? Because you have the monsters, you're still clearing the last monsters, and now you have monsters running at you. What was your experience with these changes?
Yeah, so this was probably my #1 complaint about the beta was the backtracking. I'd often, in a dungeon at some point, reach a point where I'm like, okay, I have to run back or I have to go look for a monster. And with these changes, I don't think I ever had one of those moments, or at least, I'm not going to say there was zero backtracking, but there wasn't enough that it would have come up as an issue that I would have complained about. I know some people, say, oh, suck it up, backtracking has always been part of Diablo, it's part of the game. But like the changes made hasn't made the experience linear. It's not like, oh, now we just have one quarter to go down. As you were saying, like now if you do go on a side path, there could be things to run into, but just overall, everything from an
Gentlemen, if you're growing a beard and the top part of your beard looks like this, shave that down to this line. You notice how mine is? My shit looks just like his does. You gotta shave that part. That's beard game 101. I'm not trying to hate. I'm just trying to point it out for every man that's trying to grow a beard. You gotta shave that part right there, and then your beard game goes up about 8,000
Experience
points.
standpoint, just flows a lot better.
I know with beta learnings and everything that we took in from the community and we posted on the blog, we actually had a big question in regards to dungeons and resetting dungeons and how that actually works. And I do want to take some time for you guys to be able to clarify a little bit, because there's tons of questions, and then we tried to clarify, and I think we made it worse. So we're gonna
re-clarify the clarification.
Exactly.
Yes. So the reset dungeon button, right?
Yes. Let's hear about this.
We added this button earlier in development when there wasn't an easy way for dungeons to reset naturally. In fact,
Forgot
the
his
way we
razor
added
blade
it
at home for
led to
this
some,
big show.
Undesirable secondary effects because it was instant. It didn't care if you were inside the dungeon. It doesn't care if the dungeon is partially completed. If you're a hardcore character and you're in danger, you can just press it and presto, you're all good. And since
what I'm saying is he would have a nice beard
button
if he just maintained it just a little bit.
Dungeons to reset organically. We've been working with our online team, and we've been making changes to, over the course of development, like how Town Portal works, how dungeon reset work. And so the way that it works today, if you are outside the dungeon, and if everyone from your party is outside the dungeon, so if you're alone, just you, and there are no town portals open in the dungeon, then the dungeon will naturally reset over a period of about 60 seconds, about 30 seconds of matchmaking and 60 seconds.
Oh my God! So all of these whining ass baby motherfuckers whine for nothing because it naturally resets after 60 seconds? Ah! Wow, looks like Hog was right again.
30 seconds of cleanup. Or if it's partially completed, like maybe you got halfway through and you're like, you know what, I have to do something else. I'm going to go, kill a world boss, or, I want to do something else now. Then it'll take a little bit longer to reset. It takes about 150 seconds, but it'll still reset naturally pretty quickly. And the other case here is that you've got maybe you're doing the dungeon and there's some particular objective in the dungeon or side quest in the dungeon, and someone, one of your friends joins and they want to do that side quest too, right? But maybe you've already completed it in this dungeon. So you can also hop out of the dungeon, which you can use through the Leave Dungeon button right in the UI as well. It does have a short cast time, so
not as quick, yeah.
But it's
You're literally talking about 1 minute, 60 seconds. You can go to town, you can get some pots, get some pots, repair,
invite the other person to the party,
change your clothes,
later, hop in, you'll get a fresh dungeon as well.
Yeah, so hopefully that clarifies. You can still reset. Resetting dungeons is still a thing in D4. It's just we removed the button essentially, so you just have to wait a little bit longer for the dungeons themselves to reset.
Fucking cry, baby. Cry about nothing, bastards.
Or two specific changes that are we also obtained through beta that we didn't actually record on the blog. One you actually tweeted about, which was
spread this negativity through our community for no goddamn reason. It pisses me off. There ain't no reason for none of that bullshit. It's engineered negativity for views.
People who are using ultra wide or
fucking
ultra wide
horseshit
screens wouldn't be able to essentially cast to the furthest corner of their screen and be able to use abilities in that type of way. And then one other thing that we did notice during beta, which was
wait, hold on, I gotta
and how players would actually complete a world boss encounter and then go back to town and then find another. Players would actually complete a world corner of their screen, like ultra wide screen, and being able to control cast distance and so forth. Two two specific changes that are we also obtained through beta that we didn't actually record on the blog. One you actually tweeted about, which was about ultra wide screens,
yes,
and being able to control cast distance and so forth, and with specific abilities and whatnot. So people who are using ultra wide or mega ultra wide screens like wouldn't be able to essentially cast to the furthest corner of their screen and be able to use abilities in that type of way. And then one other thing that we did notice during beta, which was world boss encounters and how players would actually
so they took away the
world boss encounter and then go back to town.
They put a limit on your teleport range and your spell range for people that are using ultra wide monitor, which sucks because I just got one on order, so I was looking forward to using that exploit, but that's gone now.
And then find another way of being able to, in that same window, go through another world boss encounter to obtain multiple opportunities of grabbing loot, which is something that we also did address through the beta learnings that we received from players. So
that's true. Now, I'll point out that the first time you kill a world boss in a week, you are going to get more loot.
Yeah, Ruckus, they
so
just want
incentive to,
they just want the clicks.
There's less incentive to try to find a way to kill the same world
I
boss
refuse
10 times.
to grow like that. I won't do it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
unless I
it's
feel
not
like
the
it's
exact
something for
rewards
real,
or,
but I'm not.
I
refuse to do
rewards
that.
that you got from the first kill themselves. Great. I know we ended up learning a ton from the community in regards to the beta. Obviously, you guys got to hear a little bit about the endgame systems within Diablo 4. We do have a cool. What's this?
Here it comes.
Is it time for a surprise? It is time for a surprise.
Wait, what?
If you've been hiding on the internet and have not seen Rod Ferguson make very nonchalant tweets about this,
what's it gonna be, boys?
This is the and more of the actual broadcast, I would say. So happy to announce that we've been hearing a lot of feedback from players about wanting to experience more Diablo 4 and check it out, before the game's release in June. And so on May 12th through May 14th, we're going to be hosting a server slam event.
Yes!
For players within Diablo 4 or who want to play Diablo 4.
Yes!
This is a really important weekend for the team and the dev team here because we need as many people to really log in, check out Diablo 4 and play through the game.
The whole game?
Because we need
to get the whole game
some more before we actually launch. Joe, I know you have a lot of want and need and emphasis towards this specific weekend, so I'd be curious to hear.
Yeah. So first off,
hell yeah!
All of the changes that we just talked about in this live stream will be in place on the server slam.
Yeah. So huge news right there. Where if you want to check out any of the changes that we made from beta, you will be able to actually check them out that weekend on May 12th or May 14th.
That's right. And the other thing I want to point out is that we recently announced that we've gone gold. That Diablo 4 has gone gold.
Yeah.
And
means it's done,
that means
baby.
We got all of those changes from the betas in. We did tons of server. We learned a ton of stuff in terms of our servers, in terms of server configuration. Making sure that we were fixing bugs. We deployed hotfixes during those 2 weekends. And so we were able to really improve our confidence for launch through that. And that's why, we're so confident in announcing that we've gone gold. Now, the purpose of this weekend is to slam those servers, right? Really make sure that everything is exactly perfect for launch because that's really what's important to us, right? We want players to have a good experience on day one when the game launches, and so come slam our servers. Now, of course, this is very helpful for us.
Yes,
and it's helpful if you want to play on day one.
It's helpful for the Diablo 4 community to come help us slam our servers, but.
That's not all your. That's not the.
Hell
only
no!
reason
Our
to do
progress
it.
on the beta won't be there.
Don't
start! Don't start! Play.
You're gonna have another chance to earn the rewards from the first 2 beta weekends. So if you didn't get a chance to play because maybe you were traveling or for any other reason, you have another chance to get your Beta Wolf pack cosmetic and the 2 titles. And in addition to that, we've for this Server Slam weekend, we've set the level cap to level 20, we've adjusted the legendary drop rates to be consistent with what you'll
Dark,
see on
I
live,
came across an issue with the
rather
Druid
than
where
the
I could
inflated
not
drop rates that we
imprint an
had in the first
aspect
two
on an
videos.
offhand. Yes.
which were there to make sure that
And
we
it
got plenty of
pissed
testing
me
on our
off
legendary
bad.
powers.
It didn't matter what
And,
aspect from what
on top of
category
that,
would not go on.
You're going to have 48 hours to slam these servers, right? Now, during this time,
Y'all,
Ashava is going to
fuck.
spawn starting about 24
Yeah.
hours after the servers go up, and then every 3 hours after that. So you can have, I think it's 9 opportunities to fight Ashava.
I guess we're
Now,
gonna
if you get to level
pre-install
20
something trippy.
and you kill Ashava while you are level 20, so max
Every
level in
3
this
hours,
test,
we'll be waiting
in
on
this
this
period
bitch.
of time,
What level is it though?
20.
It's 20. So you got to be level 20.
Yeah.
Goddamn,
Don't
9
show up
a.m.
in
Pacific.
Ashava
That's
level
9,
5 and
8,
think you're
7,
gonna get
that's
this.
6
expect you'll
6
get
in the
the
fucking
better
morning.
reward.
But what you're going to get is this
damn.
Cry of Ashava mount trophy, which is exclusive to this.
Yeah, we gonna
Service
run it
Land
in our
weekend.
honey
You
holer,
can see it
honey
here
holer,
on,
honey
on your
hole.
screens.
Yeah, the trophy there and the
Oh
horses
my
here
God, we
on
get
the
to
side of
run
the
with our
fair. Oh, wow,
horses
it's
too?
really-
Oh,
it's bigger than I
fuck
thought.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
We
Oh my
basically
God.
cut a horn, part of Ashava's horn
Yeah.
off, and made
God
it, added some
almighty.
building and
This
some
fucking
nice
game.
metal work there. And of course, mount trophies in Diablo are cosmetic customizations that you can add to your mount along with mount armor. So this is a trophy that you can mount. It mounts, some trophies mount on the saddle. I don't know why I'm pointing to my shoulder. Just where the saddles go, apparently.
Yeah.
Or they can mount on the side, on the horse's flank, like you see here
Yeah.
with this trophy.
Yeah, so again, like all rewards from the original first 2 weekends of the beta, including the 2 titles and the beta wolf pack will be available, as well as the Cry of Ashava mount trophy. And for the mount trophy, you have to be level 20 and kill Ashava. All classes will be available. And you'll be able to explore Fractured Peaks again from the 2 beta weekends that we had beforehand.
Oh, yeah,
And
I
of
guess
course,
that is
Ashava will
noon
be
Eastern.
spawning
I always fuck
much
up
more
my
often
conversion.
in this Server Slam weekend for players
All
to
classes
actually jump
available.
in
Okay.
and obtain the rewards and really help us out, help out the team, and make sure that we have a smooth
Oh,
launch.
wait. It's, no! It's another, no! You dirty fuckers! You dirty, I thought we were gonna be able to play the whole fucking game. God, it's just the beta again. Oh, y'all are dirty. Ugh, they're like the fucking crack dealer that just to give you the mid-grade crack, he's saving the high-level crack for the other people. That's fucked up, Blizzard. That is fucked up. I want to play mid-game, god damn it.
For Diablo 4 come June. So huge news for all of this. And we will have a blog that will be going
Whatever, I'm
either
not complaining
live
really.
right
We'll get to
now
play again.
Or live
Fuck, I
immediately
wanna play
after the
more.
broadcast for players to actually read about all this information. And that will be available on Diablo4.com. So make sure to check out the blog, get all your information there, and jump in on our Server Slam weekend, March 12th through March 14th. It's another opportunity to
That's alright.
play
I'm gonna make
Diablo
the
4
most
before the launch,
badass
which is really great.
motherfucking druid
And you
the
can test all
internet's
the
ever
new
seen.
beta changes, which is really cool. And one other thing that I do want to note for at least
Cry
PC
of
players
Ashava.
who are jumping
I
into the
love
Server
it.
Slam weekend, the team here has done some massive work on some of the PC optimization from the first 2 beta weekends. DLSS3 for NVIDIA cards will also be available for people to try out in the Server Slam weekend.
Ooh, I'll get, yeah, it's a free weekend, absolutely.
Weekend.
I get to play with my new
Sorry,
PC.
There's only one.
Ooh,
I don't
yeah.
want to like set expectations or anything. But there's more graphic options and optimizations and so forth for PC players to check out.
I'm assuming that they're gonna save PvP talk for next month's developer live stream. That's what I imagine, but
yeah, looking forward to everyone really hitting the servers and really helping out with the game. We do want to jump into Q&A because we always end with Q&A.
Oh, Q&A. Okay,
Riker
here we go.
Actually,
Here we go.
has a bunch of questions that he was asking his own community that we will most definitely go through as well. And then we're also going to be grabbing some.
And then we're
questions
also
here
gonna
from
bring
chat
out
and so
Rax
forth.
and let him
one
say his
question that we
list.
have been seeing that has like come up within the community beforehand, and we'll start off with this one, which is like, how long will it take us to get through the battle pass? It's a question that a lot of people in the community have been talking about over the last week and a half, and I know that we wanted to talk about it a little bit more here.
Yeah, I think that there's a. So I've talked a little bit about this in the past, but I think one thing I really want to emphasize is that when we think about the battle pass for the for Diablo 4 after the game ships, we're looking at our seasonal players. We want to make sure that the players who are going through the battle pass, they're going to have a lot of content to consume, like outside the battle pass. They're in all likelihood to finish everything in the battle pass before they finish all of the content within a season to season. So there's a ton of things to look forward to. We want to make sure that the battle pass as a result is balanced in such a way that players of all types and all play styles are going to be able to get a chance to actually complete this this battle pass over the course of time. Our goal is, like, if you want to start to engage with this, want to make sure that you are compelled to go through all of it as you're playing and just having a good time getting all of these rewards.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Riker, I know you have questions. I want to make sure that you get some questions in and so forth. And I guess we'll just go back and forth for this. It'll make it easier for these two guys.
You guys, we'll just be doing this.
Yeah, exactly. Just keep doing that.
Yeah, sounds great.
Goombats, man, you missed it. We get to play again May 12th through May 14th.
I think on the topic of Nightmare Dungeons, it
Level-
sounds
up
like
to level
every
20.
season there's going to be a rotation of 30 dungeons that can be turned into the Nightmare Dungeons. Is that right?
So we want to make sure that we've got a subset of the dungeons we have in the overall game. There's over 115 or so like side dungeons available in the baseline Diablo 4 experience. We want to take a subset of those each season. Exact number we're working on. We're going to think about that and think about it. But a number of those we rotate every season to make sure that we are highlighting different kinds of objectives, different sorts of layouts, different monster families, just different experiences.
This game is gonna fucking be so goddamn awesome.
Thinking about all 115 different dungeons every season, every time, with regard to this system in particular. So that is the idea. Is we do want to rotate through these from season to season while we're looking to introduce other ideas. Yeah.
Cool. I got a question here from
So yeah, everyone's talking about the queues and the server. So this gives me hope right here. Them doing another server test, a couple weeks before the actual launch. That gives me really high hopes that they are heavily investing in a 100% smooth launch, which is about impossible. So let's say maybe a 90% smooth launch, but that would be kick-ass if we could all play without having any fucking server problems.
We're not going to butcher Twitch names, guys. I do this every stream.
From a Twitch user.
From a Twitch user in chat. Do you have any plans to keep interest for people who don't plan to play in seasons?
So we
No,
are
get
gonna
out!
be making on a regular basis part of our live updates. We're not quite ready to talk about like all of our seasonal plans and all of our post-launch plans yet, but I will say this, that we're going to be having a lot of like really rich and interesting content updates for our seasonal players, but we're still be making balance changes and adding new legendary items and like unique items and things of that nature for players who are playing in the Eternal Realm, the place where you will be able to never have to worry about like a character reset or do any of those things. There will always be new infusions of some game content at that level to players going in that space.
Cool.
But for the richest experience in the post-launch environment, I would highly recommend checking out Seasons because we're doing some really, really cool stuff.
All right. So one thing that I noticed in the December press beta to the public beta was that changes were made to the skill tree. There were like new passive skills, there were new paths made amongst the passive nodes. So I'm wondering, was the skill tree designed in such a way that you can, over the course of seasons or expansions, add new passive or active skills?
Yes. So the skill tree really that we have for Diablo 4 at launch really is just the beginning for these classes. We are going to be looking for new opportunities to create more playstyles within each of the classes. We'll be adding new passives, potentially new skills in the future. These are things that we would like to do. It is likely that these kinds of updates, particularly of like new passives, like new nodes, new things in the skill tree, more likely to happen as part of our our future larger like expansion size updates, rather than things might be happening as part of seasons. We have lots of interesting customization options we're going to be adding as part of seasons, but they might not touch the skill tree specifically.
Okay.
All right, hold on. Let's not get greedy, because an hour ago we didn't know if we were going to get to play the game, and now we're already saying I wish. Let's just be grateful that we're getting to play the game again. It's today's day and age. We're so used to instant gratification. Sometimes I've been trying to be better about that. It's not. We get something and then I say I wish more and more and more and more.
We've been seeing this question a lot. I've been seeing it in chat as well, and there's, I think, some confusion in regards to Altars of Lilith. how those will work in between seasons, or will those reset? Like, how does that specifically work?
Sure. So Altars of Lilith are one of the features that players can go and collect basically in the overworld that we're going to contribute to their renown total within each of the zones.
Well, and give permanent character power as well.
Well, I'm going to get there.
Okay.
So there's two purposes really that the Altars of Lilith have. They have
He
this,
said,
this
"Shut
larger
up,
collectible
boy."
feature where you want to kind of go get all of them for the stat points that you just called out.
Yeah.
And then they also provide the renown. So renown is reset on a seasonal basis. So when you start a new character, your renown score goes back down to 0. You'll have to go and finish side dungeons, go do side quests, go find Altars of Lilith, go do these things in order to kind of get that renown back up to unlock all of those benefits. Now, you don't need to go do all of that content in the zone to max out your renown bar. There's actually way more activities that grant renown than you actually need to complete in order to finish.
Oh, I know. I just
filling up the
it's just a brotherly love. I'm trying to make sure we don't get too
when it comes to
overhyped.
the stat games, basically, to the point that you were
Because
speaking
I'll
about,
sit there and
Altars of Lilith
snowball
also have
with
another
you.
purpose, and that when you find one, they give you a stat boost that's supposed to apply to your character and all characters in that realm.
I wish it was the
way best way to
end-game
work is
beta,
that once you've
personally.
collected
But here,
that
see,
stat
here
boost
I
and
go
a
again.
specific
Here I
Altar of
go.
Lilith,
Stop it, Hawk.
that stat effect is going to propagate out to other characters of that game type. So basically, hardcore is going to have its own progression for this, where it's like if you were playing a hardcore character at launch and you go and you do all these things, those stat boosts you collect will propagate to your hardcore characters you would make in the seasonal realm. And the same is true for players who are playing in the normal realm and playing the normal game mode. All the stat boosts they're unlocking via the Altars of Lilith will also unlock for their seasonal characters in the future, such that players don't need to go and collect every Altar of Lilith with every new season, but you do want to get some of them. They do still grant experience, and they do give you some bonus towards your boost towards your renown. But there's not the sense that you need to go and like do every single one of them every single time. We want that to be a really fun experience for players to engage with it, particularly while they're exploring Sanctuary. For
I don't know. It's probably players from other
and have that bit of fun.
genres. I mean, it's never been a Diablo
engage with
thing.
them or ignore them as they go into their seasonal playthroughs in
WASD
the
movement.
Right. So characters, you will if you unlock.
I don't know why. I can't explain that one. Crypto. I don't know, brother.
That's correct.
All right. With regards to item farming, we touched upon how Helltide, you can target farm specific slots. Is there any
100%
other kind of
agree,
item
Ruckus.
types where either you can only get this item in this zone, this location, or is there some greater propensity for some items to drop off certain monsters, anything like that?
So we have a number of different creatures in the game that have a chance to drop particular things. World bosses, for example, have a really, really good chance to drop Scattered Prism, which is the crafting material you need in order to add sockets to items in the game. And then there are certain content types that have the chance to grant certain materials, like Fiend Rose, for example, really only shows up in Helltide areas. And the only way to raise the level of your glyph is by going through and doing Nightmare Dungeons. When it comes to item farming, we also, and I've talked a little bit about this in the past, but I think it's good to remind people and also just to continue talking about it, right? Because it's a new mechanic. And that is that when you're fighting creatures of a certain monster family, like zombies or skeletons for their respective families, those monsters have a higher chance to drop certain kinds of items. It's actually a bonus chance to drop certain item types kind of happening in the background. So it's not like if an item, like for example, skeletons have a chance, they have a chance to drop crossbows, irrespective of your class. So you're playing a barbarian, which can't use crossbows as one of its weapon types, and you could be killing all these skeletons, and you might just get a crossbow drop as a
Oh
result of that.
shit! That's why a
tradable with
crossbow
rogues.
was dropping
There's
the
other
damn
things you can do with
druid.
that. But
Okay.
that's not taking a roll from the skeleton. It could drop everything else in addition to that crossbow. It's like an extra bonus thing that skeletons can drop. Every monster family has a few different things they drop this way. So as players are going through the experience, and particularly while they're leveling up in the campaign, they'll occasionally start saying like, oh, I'm getting like a lot of like rings from this, or I'm getting a lot of boots from this, or I'm getting a lot, and they'll realize that over time, over the course of time, that these are being dropped based on the monster families they're engaging with. So as players discover more of this, they continue to fight more monsters.
So I think the number one reason why we don't have WASD movement in a game like this is because the way that the game has progressed is you've always had to use your keyboard for all of your hotkeys. And so this is back in when you didn't have multi-MMO button mouses and all this shit, which you would use now. So I think that's why that you don't see it a lot, and especially in a Diablo game, because WASD, you wouldn't be able, I mean, I guess you'd use your other hand if you had two keyboards, but y'all kind of see what I'm saying. It's a little much. So they just had you move and do things with your mouse and do everything else with your keyboard hand. And that's at least my input on it. I'd be open to try it. just because I can map stuff to my mouse, but I feel like it's a little bit limiting. So I know that I'm gonna go ape shit if this fly don't get the fuck out of my shed.
And start mapping some of these things out, they will uncover the right areas or the best areas potentially to farm for certain kinds of things. And that includes like unique items as well. So if you're looking for a unique crossbow, maybe it behooves you to try to fight a lot of skeletons because you know they have a chance to drop crossbows in addition to other things. So these are the sorts of things that, like, as you're diving deeper into like the hunting gameplay, the item hunting gameplay, these are things to look at. That's not the end. There's a lot more we're going to be doing as the game continues to mature and as we're going into like our post-launch period. But you know, we'll talk about that when the time's right.
Fair enough.
This one is kind of tied to some of the Server Slam stuff that we just announced, which is, will there be any additional changes made to the game after the Server Slam weekend, like what was done during the beta?
No, I mean, we announced that the game has gone gold.
Hog was right again!
You're testing a version of the game that is very close to the launch version of the game. That's why it's so effective as a Server Slam. Now, of course, as a live service game, we're going to be continuing to take feedback exactly like you saw during the beta, after the game is launched, and making changes and making improvements based on data and player feedback.
Awesome.
All right, overlay map versus mini-map. Mini-map is a little map in the top right corner. Overlay is what we had in the past in D2, where you have this semi-transparency of the large-scale map over your actual gameplay. D4 does not have an overlay map.
Don't need it. You have a
mini-map.
mini-map.
Asking for it. What's the reason for no overlay?
Yeah, so when you're playing through an action RPG and you're playing through that core loop, you're basically switching between two modes of behavior, right? You're killing monsters or you're navigating. And you're switching back and forth between those really quickly. And so it can be helpful to have that be as fast as possible so that you can I just killed those monsters. Okay, where am I going to go? Is there an objective to the left or right? Right. And so the overlay map is very effective at doing that.
Do you know why they took away the overlay? Because you can drop a pin and you just look on your mini map and it navigates you. You don't even have to worry about where you're going now.
In fact, it's so effective that it's up there's no reason to ever close it. And so there are a lot of solutions that we've seen different games do in terms of like trying to mitigate sort of its effects on combat in terms of fading areas around the player or other things like that. What we're trying to do is we're trying to keep the combat and navigation spaces as clean as possible by separating them a little bit more. And so that's why you see the mini-map, you see the pin system on the map,
Yep.
You see, in certain cases, edge of screen indicators on the mini-map. We want to add more of those kinds of things, but ultimately, you know, our goal is to make sure that players, when they're going back and forth between combat mode and navigation mode, that they have the tools that they need to do it efficiently, and they don't feel like it's a huge hassle. So we're going to be continuing to look at this feedback. For launch, you know, you won't have an overlay map.
K2, man, that ain't no new news. All these games are live service now, so it's very hard to find a game that's offline.
We have
But
a
yeah,
question saying,
it's a
are
live
all
service
dungeons going to
game.
be single floor iterations with halls like traversing, or are we going to get like maybe multi-level dungeons?
Yeah, the
or
pin
anything,
feature is amazing. The
that,
overlay feature is
brings, like,
outdated.
elevation or depth and so forth.
You don't need it. I know this
You know,
man.
it's
Hold on.
interesting
Whoa. Timeout. Hog's calling a timeout on the play. This man is on the Diablo live stream and this man just checked his damn phone? Or is that where he's getting his questions from? Hold on. Y'all put me in check if have to, but I'm like, oh, surely you ain't on your damn phone in the damn live stream.
One of the things
I guess
that
that's
we
where he's
did
getting
in
his
Diablo
questions
4,
from, right?
That's really cool is that you don't have to load between dungeon floors. An interesting effect of that is
Hold on, baby. I'll be right off.
you might not always notice when you're going down a floor into a lower floor. There is there are staircases and there are sort of moments where that shows up, and there's UI that appears that shows up. But in many cases, our dungeons do have multiple floors, and because it's so seamless, you don't always notice. Now, in terms of when you think back to Diablo 1 and adventuring down through the cathedral, and it's this very deep
Yeah,
dungeon,
D1.
our dungeon tech can certainly do that too, and that's certainly something that could be a cool option for the future.
Awesome.
All right. With regards to PvP,
Oh, he's
there
on
any kind of
Twitter?
instancing
Okay.
to separate out solo players versus groups, or are we going to see like 4-man squads ganking lonely players?
Yeah, you will see 4-man squads ganking lonely players. I want to make sure I'm really clear about this. The fields of hatred that we have in Diablo 4 are not a place for honor. They're a place for slaughter.
Yes!
So if you go into those spaces, you need to be mindful that you are entering a chaotic realm of danger and threat. That's the fantasy. That's what we're trying to do.
Rewind gate.
I want to make
Rewind gate.
Certainly something that.
It's
could be a
PvP.
cool
Let's hear
option.
this again.
Awesome.
All right. With regards to PvP, is there any kind of instancing to separate out solo players versus groups, or are we going to see like 4-man squads ganking lonely players?
Yeah, you will see 4-man squads ganking lonely players.
Fuck yeah.
I want to make sure I'm really clear about this. The fields of hatred that we have in Diablo 4 are not a place for
battles,
honor.
baby.
They're a place for slaughter.
Hell yeah.
So if you go into those spaces, you need to be mindful that you are entering a chaotic realm of danger and threat. That's the fantasy.
Yes.
That's what we're trying to do.
Yes.
Now, players who go into these spaces might also be fortunate and find there's a number of other players that are trying to peacefully farm up in various resources while they're fighting there, and not actually be interested in engaging in PvP immediately.
Never
Now,
trust
that's also
somebody
a
in
situation
there,
you might occasionally find yourself
especially
in.
Hog.
Maybe you decide that you want to take advantage of them, and you show up and decide that you want to go.
Oh
and
my
get the
god,
players
this
and
is
take
gonna
those
be
things.
so amazing, y'all.
Greed gets the
This
best of us at
fucking
some point in time.
game!
But I want to make it really clear that there are things in place in terms of how we bucket players by level and things like that to ensure that you're not always be going up against like really, really high level players at a very, very low level. But in terms of like, I'm walking in this space, is there any guarantee that there aren't 3 people somewhere roaming around this area looking to gank lonely people like me? The answer is there is no mechanic in place to prevent that from occurring. So you need to be mindful of that when you're walking around here.
Fuck
Going
yeah.
there with friends,
Let the tears flow.
or walk in and be prepared to occasionally die. Especially when you immediately walk into a field of hatred. If you were to immediately get killed by other players, there's actually no real penalty for you in that case. That you haven't started to acquire any of the PvP resources in that zone yet. Anyway.
Exactly,
So
Lucid.
they have nothing to gain from killing, and you have nothing to lose as a result of that death. So, yeah, things to experiment with, but going with the right set of expectations.
But there is some pseudo matchmaking to stop like level 100 players ganking level 25 players?
That's correct. There is some bucketing in place to make sure that doesn't occur.
Well, that's good.
I would add too that the fields of hatred are fairly large areas.
Yes.
So you're not. There are some tools to avoid the same group of players repeatedly killing you. There are also two fields of hatred, so you can move between fields of hatred, and there are things like elixirs.
Elixirs,
that can allow you to be more evasive or get away from situations.
Y'all's boy be talking about
you feel like
elixirs
you're
all
at a
the time.
disadvantage. There are also, when you think about
Oh, Ruckus, they're dropping
field of
ears
hatred
again?
mechanics you
Oh,
get
hell
collecting
yeah.
these,
That's a D2, D1 thing.
these shards of hatred, and you're refining them so that you can turn them in for
Was that in
rewards.
Diablo 3? I don't remember if ears were in D3. I think they were.
Locations that you can do that, there are several locations, typically active at a time. So you can sort of do some strategizing about where there might be enemy players and where it might be safe.
That's right. When an altar is being used to purify those shards of hatred into red dust, you'll actually see a notification on your map letting you know where that's actually occurring. So if there's a lot of activity in the northwestern part of the zone.
Oh fuck, y'all! This. Oh my god!
Quietly and quickly cleanse some red dust of your own. Because once it's cleansed, you can't lose it. You don't drop it.
Right.
Yeah.
Your horse is for moving around, bud.
We have a lot of questions related to like seasonal stuff and battle pass stuff. I just want to note that we actually are our next live stream, in May, in early May, soon TM will be.
Damn, did we lose Dr.
actually
Doom? We ain't
focusing a
heard
little bit
nothing
on our
about him.
seasonal structure as well as battle
just heard
pass and so forth.
PvP.
So we're actually going to leave those comments specifically for that. I keep looking.
It probably won't be too hard to get my ear.
I mean, going, Adam, what's wrong with you?
Real.
That's just me. In regards
might
to
become a collectible
other
item.
questions that we do have, I'm gonna just lightning off a few questions that have been coming up. These are kind of related, I would say, but one is a co-op on PC. Have we looked at doing something like that? And then separately, mouse and keyboard on console.
PC.
Is that something that we've also looked into?
No couch co-op on PC, no mouse and keyboard on console.
There you go. Mainly because, as you guys know, PC, like the account structure on Battle.net and having 2 accounts at the same time on one PC is a little difficult.
I'm just making sure you're still here and heard about that PvP. This shit was pretty badass.
Play, and as we get past launch and so forth, we'll look at more into feedback and everything from that end.
I guess last question from me. With regards to the crafting system, can we expect that to be something that is built up to be more robust over time with regards to either seasons or, again, expansions?
Oh, yes. So Diablo 4 is a game about collecting, killing monsters, collecting loot, screwing around with that loot to do fun things and make it get more performance out of it, modifying those things,
What was
looking
the question?
for the right.
Can we expect that to be something that is
Account structure on Battle.net and having two accounts at the same time on one PC is a little difficult. And then on console, right now it's just controller play. And as we get past launch and so forth, we'll look at more into feedback and everything from that end.
I guess last question from me. With regards to the crafting system, can we expect that to be something that is built up to be more robust over time with regards to either seasons or, again, expansions?
Oh, yes. So Diablo 4 is a game about collecting, killing monsters, collecting loot, screwing around with that loot to do fun things and make it get more performance out of it, modifying those things, looking for the right ethics. Yeah, we're going to absolutely continue to be like just changing some of the crafting options, modifying them, providing new options that don't exist right now, building upon things we already have in place. You can expect to see a lot of things, but Diablo 4 is a live service because it's a rich bed of opportunities to continue to like refine, change, update, and modify the systems we have in place right now. So yeah, you'll definitely see more crafting features over the course of time.
Awesome. Last few small questions. People have been asked about ray tracing because we mentioned the NVIDIA DLSS 3 will be coming in. The SUPRISE ray tracing is coming after launch. It's something that we had talked about earlier.
Oh, fuck yeah, Ruckus. That's badass, too.
Let's see. This is an interesting question. If you're on your mount, can you actually pick up crafting materials and stuff like that while you're on your mount in the overworld?
There are a number of simple actions you can perform when you're on your mount. I believe right now you can pick up herbs when you're on when you're mounted. Yes.
Hell yeah. Yes.
Let's see if we have. The chat's moving incredibly fast. A lot of people are talking about WASD movement right now. We don't have any plans for incorporating that. That's
Tough
something
shit.
that we may look into post.
Tough shit.
From our
Tough shit.
Cool.
Tough
I
shit.
think we got a decent amount of questions in. Talked about
They shot that shit down real quick.
The beta learnings and of course all the information about Endgame.
And the Server Slam.
And the Server Slam.
Ashiba's Server Slam.
Yeah.
Yeah. On you mentioned WASD movement, so no. WASD movement will not be in the game at launch, but in the Server Slam, do check out the additional control customization options that we added.
Yes.
They are referenced on the blog, and we want to continue to add more ways to customize the control scheme in the way that you're thinking of. So something that we're thinking about for the future.
Exactly. So thank you guys again, and thank you Riker for joining us this week. I know you've had a opportunity to play through the game quite a lot. We've just stuck him in a room. He's really just played the game a ton this week. But we really appreciate everyone tuning in for the Diablo 4 developer update live stream. Again, our next live stream will be sometime in May, early May, and we'll be talking a little bit about our season structure as well as our battle pass. And a few other things that we did want to call out on in terms of Diablo 3. We have season 28 currently going on right now. It's an awesome season. Highly recommend checking it out.
No, it's not.
If you haven't.
No, it's a trash-ass season. It
came out with a big
sucks.
update about a week or two ago that added a new PvP system into the game. So make sure to check that out if you haven't as well. For Diablo 2, we do want to announce one quick thing as well.
Wait a minute, there's new PvP in Diablo 3?
Diablo
on the blog, and we've
just stuck him in a room.
Was that what they just
played
said?
the game a ton this week.
EB.
But we really appreciate everyone tuning in for the Diablo 4 developer update live stream. Again, our next live stream will be sometime in May.
Did I just hear that right?
Early May, and we'll be talking a little bit about our season structure as well as our battle pass. And a few other things that we did want to call out on in terms of Diablo 3. We have season 28 currently going on right now. It's an awesome season. Highly recommend checking it out.
Yeah, check it out.
If you haven't. And then of course with Diablo Immortal, they just
Diablo
a big update,
Immortal.
about a week or two ago,
Fuck me.
that added a
Okay.
new
I was
PvP
about to
system
say.
into the game. So make sure to check that out if you haven't as well. For Diablo 2, we do want to announce one quick thing as well, which is the Diablo 2 Season 4.
No, it's
Diablo 2
Immortal. I
Season
just
4
didn't
will
hear
actually
that he
begin on
said
May
Diablo
4th.
Immortal. I was like, oh
so
shit,
we
hold
did
on.
want to get that out so people can plan their calendars, because it's always been a fun, exciting time within D2R for people to do the ladder race as they kind of get prepped for it, take time off, call off from work. We'll give you a doctor's note. It's perfect. So, but yes, thank you guys again for tuning in to the Diablo 4 developer update live stream.
God, this
we
has
really
been a
appreciate
fantastic
you guys and
fucking
appreciate
day,
the
y'all.
feedback. And thank you again, Riker.
Thank you so much
for joining us.
Yeah, it's good to have you.
Yeah. Any parting words from anyone over here?
Well,
Yeah, go ahead.
we would like
They
you to swam
smacked
the
at the
server.
same time.
Yes.
Yeah.
You must be level 20. And, you know, we tested, you know, an interesting thing is that we tested the Ashava fight at level 20
Yep.
to make sure that it was doable.
Yes.
We were pretty sure it was doable, but we did want to check to make sure it was doable. They were like, okay, go on.
It is quite challenging. If you are having a lot
Y'all.
of trouble with it, you can always go down to difficulty level.
That's true.
Difficulty
It's
level.
gonna be so fucking hard.
And Moody Joe, we expect you to solo it.
Solo
For
it,
sure,
yeah.
for sure. And again, you can pre-purchase Diablo 4. We have a QR code up there. We have a deluxe and ultimate version that are available for the digital version that can give you early access up to 4 days before launch. So yeah, thank you guys again and really appreciate it. And oh yes, one other thing. We are going to be raiding into 2 Diablo partners, both from YouTube and on Twitch. So make sure to stay on the channel if you want to check them out.
Oh.
And yeah, thank you guys again. Really appreciate it. And thank you from everyone on the Diablo team. See ya.
Yeah.
Woo! Hell yeah, son! We get to play again. Well, there we go. I don't even know what to say. Yeah, you just build that rogue back up, and I'll build that damn druid, and we'll get up all in her ass like we did last time, and she'll die. It'll be fine. God almighty, that was badass. Now what do we do, boys? Again. Let's watch it again. The whole 2-hour live stream. Oh. Yeah, I mean, I figured they wouldn't have said that tweet that they said if there wasn't gonna be a damn, something that we could play through. But now it means I got a theory craft, a level 20 druid to smack some ass.
If you've got the
God damn, that was fucking amazing. Oh, yeah, you want to talk about the cocaine druid? Well, we can close Paragon points down. Because we ain't going to use them. Oh, okay. So, see, we only get 20. So I took wind shear because of the wild wind shear. I didn't in the beta, but I'm going to take it this time because you get 3 additional spirit for each enemy hit. So you really don't have to worry about spirit later on. And then I took pulverize, enhanced pulverize. The primal, I believe, is what I took. Yeah, I can make the support bear too. Shit. No, we got a lot of info, man. Like we heard about. So let's recap what we heard about. What we still haven't figured out: sacred and ancestral items. You can have a sacred unique. So that's, you can have like a sacred legendary and ancestral legendary. So that's what we still don't have a lot of info on that. We learned that certain areas have certain caches for certain things. So that's pretty badass. So if you're looking for a pair of gloves, you can go farm a certain, was that for Fields of Hatred? Yeah, it was for Fields of Hatred. You can go farm a certain area of Fields of Hatred and get gloves. The Nightmare Sigils have a revive and a good and bad affix, and you can actually salvage those and don't have to run them. Like, we learned a lot today. It was actually pretty badass. It's actually really badass. And it actually defeated a lot of what some of these other people were saying. Just pulling shit out of their ass. Where's my Vine Creeper? I can't reach it yet. Debilitating Roar. You slow, and then... See, this people talking about spirit. You can't generate spirit, but if you take Blood Howl, you have to take it for this item anyway. You generate 20 spirit with Blood Howl. So... my favorite right now is the Vine Creeper. Because you can immobilize everything, and then you can poison them, and then I don't know if this aspect's going to drop. But it actually partners with some shit in the Paragon to poison damage over time, like 50% increase. It's pretty badass. Of course, then you take Trample. That's your kind of movement, and that grants you 20 spirit. So you can actually gain 40 spirit from Blood Howl, and you gain 20 from Blood Howl, and you gain 20 from Trample. That's why I thought it was funny that they were crying about spirit regen. You got two things that you can cast right there. The Blood Howl. Another reason you want Blood Howl is this aspect. Where you be? Right here, Blood Howl increases critical strike chance by 5 to 10%. In addition, Blood Howl also affects nearby companions and players for 3 seconds. So you take that, you boost everybody's crit hit chance. You put it, is it the amulet that gives you 100%, or is it the ring? Whichever one it is, I think it's amulet. You put it in the amulet spot. Okay, I'm going to be on Twitch. Probably here pretty soon, because I need to be on there to get a couple of viewers. Who's got a Twitch account, y'all? We need to go over to Twitch, and I need y'all to watch me on Twitch for a little bit, so I can get affiliate over there. That's all I'm lacking, is a couple of watchers. I reckon me and Phil, you done for the day? You want to play some Diablo 1? We can stream that if y'all want to watch me and Diablo there wreck some ass. I'll shut this down and reopen it. But the base build, I don't know why that's there. The base build was I'm gonna have to sit here and play with it again. We're not gonna get the uniques. I don't know what we're gonna get at level 20. Yeah, same, Frederick. I ran one-handed plus a totem and wind impulses. I go play cards. What are you playing, fucking poker? There's just so many options, man. People talk about there's no depth. My ass. There's so much to do. Well, y'all kick ass for watching this with me. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna power this down. I'm gonna go inside and use the bathroom, get me a snack, and then I'm gonna come back and I'll do a multi-stream on Twitch and YouTube, and we'll probably fire up some music, have a dance party or something maybe. Try to get hype. We'll have a little hype party, do some old school D1, maybe kill Diablo again. Also got to check and see if some of my computer parts have come in. I don't want them sitting on the front porch. So anyway, if you're not subscribed, make sure to do so. Thanks, y'all. This is kick-ass. So we'll be streaming pretty much the whole damn time during the beta as much as I can. So make sure to join us. If you need a community to run with, House for Hog, my Discord, make sure to join over there. We got a badass community. So if you need somebody to play with or, you know, whatever, we got D2R, Diablo 3, Diablo 4, just a social space. We got a bunch of shit in there. A bunch of people from all over the world in there. So come on over there. Thanks, Big Steve. I appreciate it. Y'all, let me show you something real quick. This fucking blew my mind. So my buddy Eros, y'all go check out his channel. He's got a channel he's starting up. But he was cruising around looking for like the top 35. This is 35 best Diablo or top Diablo channels. Your boy Hog right there, number 4. This is fucking stupidest shit in the whole goddamn world. This come out April 8th. So I just wanted to share that. It's kind of cool. I guess my shit's getting. I've had almost 400,000 views since I started this channel at the very end of season 26 in Diablo 3. So, like, maybe 8 months, something like that. So it's pretty awesome. So y'all, just thank you so much for watching me. I'm humbled by it. It's kick-ass. So, yeah, I'm literally gonna run inside and get me some crackers or something and make sure my deliveries ain't here, and I'll be right back on. My Twitch is at hog_gaming. That's all of my social media stuff. You can find me on all that stuff. But again, thanks everybody. By the way, again, Mr. Phil's one of the donators. My buddy Eros donated. My brother donated. A bunch of people donated some PC parts. I'm building a badass machine. I believe all the parts will be in here Monday. So make sure to be looking out for that stream next week. That'll be cool. We'll have another party just like this, except I'm going to shift everything. You can't see it because I got my green screen up, but I got my table here, and we'll lay everything out, and we'll cut up and have a good time and build the PC on stream. That'll be badass. So, again, thanks everybody for the support. Y'all make this old boy humbled, and never thought anybody would give a shit about my content. So I appreciate y'all so much. Thank you so much. And I'll be back here in a little while if y'all want to hang out. I'm really liking this stream shit, so we might as well just